And we're live. Hello to both of you. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Good.
Yeah, no, I'm good. There we go.
Yeah.
Let me switch over.
Dang
How
it,
worried should I
forgot
be with the
to
episode? Extremely worried. Extremely
There we
worried.
go.
Tonight,
Hello, everybody.
Change my image for the week.
I'm gonna turn the music down just a
Let me see it real
little
quick.
bit. Chat, can you hear everybody okay? Please tell me if people are not loud enough. I am running the show
Yeah,
on the podcast channel here. How's everybody doing tonight? We have a lot of crazy stuff going on. I think we got a VTuber that was fired for a lot of crazy stuff. We got lots of call-out stuff today as well, which is very fun. I have an unhinged rant that will come up at some point. I don't know when we're gonna do that, but I have an unhinged rant that's gonna happen. And what else? There's probably a lot else that I'm missing here. I don't know.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Perfect.
there we go.
Perfect. But anyway, if this is...
Let's see. Poppy, the VTuber that was fired was fucking what's her name? Rero something from Idol Corp.
Oh gosh, when you say her name, I just want to say re-roll. Just re-roll that VTuber.
Reroll Ron.
Re-roll Ron, that VTuber.
Reroll Ron.
Oh gosh. Well, before we get like into actual topics, how have you guys been this week? How are things going?
They go.
They've been going.
They've been going.
Good.
They've been going.
Mhm.
That's good. That's good. So far, things are going good over here as well. Chat, I have a new screen for when we're showing stuff, because in the last couple podcasts, things were on the screen right next to me, and even though we're recording in 1080p, I think it would be a lot cooler to have a big screen to show stuff off in, so I've set that up tonight. Little assets are going to be a little weird until we actually have like official podcast stuff. We're not rich, so things will be better set up in the future, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. So
Speak for yourself. I'm very rich. Rich in spirit.
rich in spirit.
Yeah.
Well, there you
I'm
go.
rich in depression.
Rich. Oh. I mean, you know what? You
Aren't
said
we
it,
all?
not me. Here, I'm gonna slide you to the side there. We're a little bit. There we go.
But just so we're all clear, our main points on the agenda are obviously Rero, which is the big one. Occo finding her new Nemesis, which is, you
Yep.
know,
I didn't
Fair
find
play.
them. They've been around for a couple of years.
Occo announcing their new Nemesis. We're gonna talk about Asian baiting a little bit, and a big VTuber call out shit show that
Oh,
spans
yeah.
like 20 different people
Mm.
and a lot of art theft.
20 different people? Wow. See, I haven't learned a lot about this stuff because I was like, I'll react to it as it comes in. But holy cow, that's a lot.
I
Asian
have
what now?
known-
Asian baiting.
I have known about this VTuber for a while, like mostly because I seen her anglerfish model at the time, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty neato. And then I just seen that she sells so many of her models over the price that she paid for it.
Yeah, we'll be getting to that. Don't
Yeah.
spoil it, Lumi. You're spoiling too much.
Spoiler.
I will say it all right now.
You gotta give people a reason to keep watching.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I feel like it's okay to give like a brief primer so everybody knows what's coming through tonight.
I
but
mean, I'm
yeah.
sure Reroll Ronnie is probably going to be a big hook.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Very much so.
I find the Rero story much more fun, and as people can probably tell from my thumbnail, I find Rero pretty based. I simp for Rero.
Yeah.
You simp for all of the bad boys. Or excuse me, bad girls, I guess.
Rero did nothing wrong.
Rero did nothing wrong, you're all just haters.
Oh, perfect.
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm
man.
disappointed in all of you for not supporting her more.
I didn't know about her. I don't know who she is or was.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to a lot of these VTubers. unless they're like
What
cool.
are VTubers?
Exactly.
I don't know what they are.
See, my opinion that I will always say is VTubers have bad opinions. So that is my reason for why I just don't care.
But then how do you, like, reconcile that with the fact that my opinions are always correct?
I mean, like, I say it, but I also don't mean it at the same time, so, you know.
Hi, Spark. How are you doing? We were just talking about you earlier.
Did we start early? No, we are on time right now. We usually start around the same time. We're just about 9 minutes in.
So, did we want to start in on Rero?
We can, yes. Do you want me to switch?
Yes.
I will switch over the screen here.
Yeah, you can switch over if
There
you
we
want.
go.
On who's screen sharing?
I am. I've got it up.
All right, I'm just gonna
This bitch out real
pop
quick
that
and
up.
switch
Fish
over.
that. All right, chat. I am trying to fix the color issue. I don't know why it's appearing darker than normal. I spent like half an hour trying to fix this. It still isn't working. I'm gonna continue
Of course,
looking
Occo would
into
have a
it.
color issue.
Hey, there we go.
Excuse me.
No,
People call me the racist one.
Oh my god. Are you saying that just because I'm tanned that I have a color issue? Wow. That's mean.
You're saying you have
Yeah.
a color issue. I'm not saying anything else about that.
Let's see, window capture.
You're admitting it.
I'm not admitting anything. I'm not admitting anything. Wow.
Oh, so I will clarify. We'll get into this later. There's one thing Rero probably did that I will consider not based. Everything else I will consider based. But we'll get into that when we get to it.
We'll get into that. Racist arc? I am not racist.
Racist art.
Racist arc. No, that's only
One day,
Rosa.
Occo will be canceled for blackface. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen when they find out what a Gyaru is.
See, when that happens, I'm just gonna like not pay attention to it because like I don't care. Like I have
Also, I need
tans
to
on my
make
body.
Occo a little
I am
bigger.
tanned IRL. Well, not like I have like tans IRL. So like if people have a problem with this, they should probably like have an issue with the fact that like tanning exists. Like I'm sorry, bro. You should probably cancel Mr. Crank from Christmas with the Cranks before you cancel me.
You got it set up, Lumi?
Yes, I got it set up.
All right, so this is the notice that a group called IdolEN put out about Rero Run,
I'm gonna make
which
that a little
is,
bit bigger.
I hate the name, by the way, like I'm sorry, it's so dumb. Thank you for continued support of Idol and our talents. We'd like to inform you that as of November 28th, we have terminated our contract with Idol star Rero Ron. Regarding the actions of Rero Ron that led to this termination, it has been discovered through an internal investigation that Rero has violated her contract and engaged in activities both dangerous and harmful to both her own well-being as well as to the company. Through our investigation, we were able to confirm that Rero violated her contract in the following ways: misuse of controlled substances during live stream performance, soliciting fans during live streamed members content for private offline meetings, meeting with a fan in person and accepting gifts from said fan in the total value of thousands of dollars.
Oh.
But first off, by the way, you can't say total value and then give like a really vague amount. You have to be like, in the total value of $2,332 or something like that. You have to be like, in the total value of a range.
There we go.
Conducting a secretive relationship with a member of the management team who has also been terminated upon confirmation of these details. These actions have breached the trust essential for our continued management and support of Rero, leading to our decision to terminate her contract. We sincerely apologize for any disappointment this announcement may have caused and appreciate your understanding. We will be shutting down her YouTube channel, including the cancellation of all memberships, on the 1st of January. Regarding refunds for Rero Ron merchandise, as well as donations made during her donathon, we will be publishing an official refund request from our form on our official Idol Discord server. Additionally, all Rero Ron and Project Star chat channels will be removed following this notice. We are treating this matter with the utmost seriousness and will be taking steps to ensure that similar situations do not happen in the future. We ask that you do not message, harass, or otherwise disturb the day-to-day activities of our talents regarding this matter. We hope for your continued support for our other talents and appreciate your understanding. Thank you,
Jeez.
the Idol team.
Wow. Chat, I think this is the first VTuber that's actually like done drugs. Like, okay, explain to me, because like Was it like a redeem? Like if somebody paid a certain amount of money, she'd like say, "Oh, I'll take," and we don't really know what the controlled substance is. Or do
Okay,
we?
so we'll swap over to this, right? These
gosh,
were
that's so
supposedly her
blurry.
chat roles. It's blurry because this is one of like the few things that are left over from it. It was used in her private streams. So she had a little thing in the corner that just said $250 and I take silly pill. Maybe some people in the private stream know more specifically what the silly pill was. I don't. I haven't heard anybody say what it is. But then it says Rero harem requirements. Number 1, no minors. Number 2, love the Rero.
I'm gonna be honest, it's
Number
very
3.
blurry.
Number 3, don't get jealous, but Rero can get jealous. Don't make her jealous. Rero is Mina no Adoru for my Stardust. I genuinely don't know what that means.
What?
That's what it says. That's
she
not like me not
Japanese?
reading it. No, but she probably copy pasted that from Google Translate.
Okay.
Be respectful and tactful with Rero. Rero chooses if some wished come true or do something mild in Ted.
In Ted.
She wrote this on the fly. You must be familiar with not Rero. This harem project and what happens in there is top secret. Do not talk with other people or other Stardust about your trip and experience.
What?
Huh,
What?
Interesting. This was part of the
These are
members only.
No, these are
right?
requirements.
Yes. Perks, the possibility to meet up with not Rero, and more.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That perk makes it worth it. I'm sad that I don't get to contribute $250 for the silly pill.
Yeah. So this was Rero's take on it.
Wow.
I was as shocked to see the notice as you are. There is an insane amount of speculation going on, but unfortunately I can't clarify things because of an NDA. I wish I could talk about all this publicly with pure honesty and actual transparency. I'll say one thing though, I'm extremely disappointed and have nothing to apologize for. Thank you all for your patience during this time. I missed all of you as much as you missed me. We will be so back.
Wow.
So this is where I get to clarify like some of the allegations on here, right?
Yeah, let's talk about some of these here.
So as we covered, a lot of people are saying sleeping pill in chat. But I have no idea specifically what controlled substances she's accused of using or what evidence they have of her doing it.
And we
however,
never
I
will.
don't necessarily doubt it. The soliciting fans during live stream members' content for private offline meetings. As far as I know, she is rejecting that this has happened. However, I can see with like her message why they would think that. So her only real excuse is to say that she's joking. Because she very much said that she was soliciting people to come meet her. Or come meet not her.
Jeez.
Which everyone knows what that does.
Yeah.
I think her only specific thing is she says that she didn't actually meet them. Although on this accepting gifts from said fan in the total value of thousands of dollars, isn't that just what you do anyways as a VTuber?
I mean, I think
Yeah, technically.
so I know that like Paco doesn't care because like he just thinks that it's dumb to care. But I know in some corporations they really heavily regulate how and what you can accept in terms of gifts because the corporation needs to make money, and if you're making money on the side, it could go against your contract. So that could probably go against her contract in the terms of what she can monetize and what she can't monetize. Excuse me.
Also, fun fact for corporations, because I don't think a lot of people know this. If you are in the US, corporations, regardless if you signed a contract or not, can't actually prevent you from accepting certain kinds of gifts. It's actually federal law in the US. You cannot have somebody sign away their right to have gifts.
Unless you work for the post office. I know this because I worked for the post office.
Yeah, that's because it's it's weird because that's actual government.
Yeah, they're a government entity. They can tell you because technically, if you accept
You have
a
less
gift,
rights if you work for a government entity.
well, yeah, because that's like accepting a bribe. This is different because this isn't a bribe. This is, hey, you're my Oshi. Can you take this gift, please?
Yep.
Mhm.
The last one is the one I have to say is not based if true. Because if it was just a secretive relationship with a member of the team, honestly, I don't care because I think people who work together should be allowed to like relationships if you want to. Like everybody's an adult. If like more problems come from that, you should address those problems, not the fact that the two of them are together. However, there's a secondary allegation that the member of the team was also married.
Yeah.
Ooh, if
I heard
that's
about that
true-
one.
Ooh, that's not good. Chat really quickly. I'm just gonna say, please don't demean religious groups in the YouTube chat. I don't want you to get banned from YouTube, and I don't want the channel to get banned from YouTube. Please, don't say anything about Jews, please.
But yeah, if that is true, that is the only part I have to say is not based because cheating is never based.
Yeah.
And supporting
homewrecking
somebody
not
with
based.
cheating is never based.
No,
Mhm.
no, we don't like cheating here, chat. If you like
And
cheating,
then-
fine, but we don't like cheating.
I have this funny little tweet from Kirsch because with this, other things came up that people were trying to get her canceled for. Because basically people were mad that people were taking her side. So they're like, well, here's other things she's done. First off, she said the N-word and she's not black. I have another tweet for that one on the side. I guess I might as well show that one real quick. As a person who happens to be black at this very moment, having full context of said utterance, why should I care? Genuinely. I'm just not for the idea of letting a single word have so much power over me in general, honestly.
Based.
So what they mean by full context of said utterance is she was singing a song and it was in the song. Which
Yeah.
I think most people have accepted by now. If you say it in the context of a song, it's not really an issue.
Yeah, and it's just it's funny because since at least at that very moment when Jazz posted that, he was black at that very moment. What are you now, Jazz? I know you're in the chat.
He could lose it. He could lose
Also,
it.
yes, we are on Twitter extra dark mode. I put my Twitter on the darkest mode available.
Good.
Is it just for that? Wow.
There's two different. There's light mode, dark mode, and then there's I forget what they call
I think
it.
it's called
but
blackout.
I think
Let me look.
yeah, it's called like blackout. I
Yeah.
always have it on blackout. Sorry. Did she know
I
about the
mean,
lyrics in
same.
advance? I don't care if she did. If you say the N-word in a song, it's fine.
And when it's in a song, it's never the hard R either.
Yeah.
Now, here's
Because look, here's the thing with the use of the N-word. It's okay if you're quoting someone. It's okay if it's in a song, and it's okay if it's said between friends that are fine with it.
oh, I need
It's only
Oh my god.
I only really consider it an issue if you are saying it specifically to be discriminatory or to try and put someone down.
yeah. I've asked a couple of different people that are black about this, and they all are pretty much just like, listen, if you say it in public in front of a bunch of black people, you're probably gonna get beat up. But like,
You're kind of asking for it at that
exactly,
point.
it's like they're like
But then there's
context
all
matters.
these like, look, I stole these screenshots from your private Discord where you said it, and it's like, I don't care. Why are you in their private
Yeah.
Discord stealing shit?
Yeah, I feel like it's like if you're trying to demean someone, that's definitely not okay. If you're trying to say it in a song within context, and you're like, hey, this is in context of a song, I feel like the only people you're gonna upset are the people like that are trying to get this girl canceled for that. Most other people are just like,
Yeah.
I don't care, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, haven't none of these people ever seen the movie White Chicks? It's like, what? We can't sing that. It has the N-word. Is anyone around? It's just like,
Oh, don't worry,
Man.
Enigma. N-word is not the only complaint people had. That was just a start.
I feel like that's the one that I've seen the most for this girl.
Yeah, people seem to think they said the N-word is like an easy shutdown of any defense of somebody. Like, oh, they said the N-word one time, that means they're evil. It's like, what was the context? It's like, well, the
song. Okay.
And they suddenly don't want to say like what it is. They're like, oh, well, the context doesn't matter.
Yeah, I really hate people like that.
Another one is that she supports AI art, which she supports AI art in the same way like HoloLive does, in that they have like a specific tag for AI art, and sometimes they'll like retweet their followers making it and be like, look how pretty this is. She's not like selling AI art or running like an AI art ring. She's just like, oh, it looks pretty, and you guys can make it for me if you want.
You know what? I'm gonna get us all canceled right now. Chat, if you make AI art of any of us, we will retweet it, okay? At least I will.
It's like, we already fucking...
you might have
we
some
already,
difficulty.
like...
I will retweet it as long as it follows my already pre-established rules about fan art.
It's like, we already talked about all of our stances on AI art when we did that little Q&A thing. It's like, all of us are fine with it, as long as you're not fucking selling it. Like, say someone made AI art of us, and they decided to heckin' sell that at a convention for money. No, don't do that. You make it for fun. Post it, we'll share it. Boom, there you
I'm
go.
actually fine if you sell it as long as you tell people it's AI.
Hi, Akami. Thank you for the biddies.
Yeah,
He's just back on Twitter. No, I'm on my old account.
Your account that, like, you don't post anything on? No, but, like, AI art, I don't care as, AI art has no rights to be used for anything other than just for fun. So, like, I don't care. If it's lewd, I'm not gonna retweet it. But if you send me AI art and it does actually have accurate tentacles, oh, then there you go.
Yeah, as long as it follows my pre-established rules, I'll retweet it. I don't care.
Yeah. If you want me to retweet it, make it look good. Which is gonna be difficult for me.
Obviously, like Kirsch says it and we said it, the thing is she's not selling it and she's not like making it or producing it even. She just has a tag for it. And she sometimes retweets it when her fans make it. That's kind of normal for like bigger businesses. That might not even be her choice either, because I know like with HoloLive, I'm pretty sure they kind of came down on all the girls and were like, look, just make a tag for it and call it a day.
Yeah.
Because we don't want like all the extra thing. And then the other one was people kept being like, oh, she plays a child character, and their evidence was she'll wear bibs and pacifiers. She was not accused of being a lolly. She was accused of playing a child character for having bib and pacifier assets.
Does she have a lolly model?
Yeah.
I think she qualifies, yeah.
Okay.
She does. Her main shtick of what I've seen of her on TikTok is that she would post clips of her lolly voice covers of different songs.
Yep.
Ah, I see.
I also talked about this with somebody at one point. I have genuinely never seen, like, pacifiers as an issue. Just because, like, I kind of grew up when, like, the rave scene was getting big. And just everybody had a fucking pacifier for some reason.
Wait, really?
I still, to this day, don't really understand why. I think it was always, like, a smoking thing. Like, smokers used it to, like, sate their oral fixation.
Oh. It's kind of weird, but, like, that's not the weirdest thing I've ever seen, I guess.
Yeah, like, pacifiers aren't as weird within, like, certain cultures as people seem to think they are. The bibs, maybe, but she also did, like, physical, like, you could see her full body stream. And she always did, like, nurse roleplay or something.
I will say that I could make the argument that if someone wears a bib and they're an adult, then maybe they got something else going on upstairs where the bib is there to catch food.
It's like, okay, Kirsch also made that argument. Hold on, I'll link it in our chat so Mizu can pull it up.
We could look at this person replying to Kirsch.
Oh my gosh.
She goes, you can focus on that plus the other things she did. Don't be dense. 1, you're not black, so you have no say whether who cares or not. This is gonna be like my hot take of the week. because I know some people are gonna get mad at it.
I don't like that.
I never have agreed with this idea of our race has like 100% exclusivity over like talking about this thing. Because I think I
don't
talked
think
about this the other day with y'all.
Yeah.
Or I definitely talked about it with Occo on like
Yeah.
my stream where I got canceled. But like all I have to do is fire back. Well, you can't talk about things that affect white people then. And it sounds racist when I
does.
say it,
Sounds
but I'm
very
saying the
racist.
same shit you're saying.
Sounds very racist.
Okay, but like, okay. I would also argue back on, like, I know people would probably get fucking mad at me if I, like, when I say this, but when I was watching that Jubilee video of African Americans debating actual African Americans, it's like, can African Americans really have a say on what's going on in Africa if they've never been there, never lived there, wasn't born there, nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get back to this discussion later.
That is a good point. That is like a big clapback. I don't know. I think it's I believe it is racist to say, "Oh, you're not my race."
She may not be selling it, but she partakes in the use of art being stolen to make something computer generated. This is another thing a lot of people don't want to recognize. A lot of AI art isn't stolen. Like the training programs it's used on isn't stolen either.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been the argument. It was like, well, the model used is stolen.
Mm-hmm.
No, if somebody makes like a model for the a specific character, they have to build their own model, which is something I don't think a lot of people understand. So quite literally, they made the model themselves. And if she's fine with it, they're very likely using her old art for the model, and if she's fine with it, it's not stolen. It's proved, technically. Also, this has just never been a good argument to start with.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the complaint people have with it, but at the same time, if you make fan art of anything, you have stolen art. That's...
I mean, technically, you can't make fan art. It's just you get away with it because companies just choose not to care. Like,
I mean, it's like with Sanrio, they literally say, no, don't sell any like fan art or any fan merchandise of Sanrio characters, but people still do, and they're not strangers to actually suing people for it.
Yep.
yeah, I mean that's a good example. No, yeah, you can't make Hello Kitty stuff. You gotta be very careful about making your own characters.
Yeah. And then the last bit is you cannot just disregard where she has a, quote, childlike model wearing a bib and pacifier while demonstrating sexual behaviors.
Yes, I can.
I always have to go back to, like, the 4chan quote about lollies, where it sounds creepy when, like, they say it, but at the end of the day, they're correct, where basically it just follows up as, I don't think you understand that this kind of not safe for work content isn't illegal because of the quote body type. It's illegal because the child can't consent. If for whatever reason there is some level of actual like legal consent, you don't have like this argument anymore, which means with drawings you don't have the argument because you don't need consent for the drawing.
And that's in my opinion the biggest reason why drawings can never be considered, like, it can be I think I've heard the argument that drawings can only be considered part of CSAM when it is held in like if you're holding on to actual CSAM and Lolly at the same time, like they can charge that as an extra thing. But if it's by itself...
Oh no, so people make that mistake a lot. It can only be charged with it if the drawing itself is of the child or used the child as a reference.
Right. I have heard one case where this, and I think it was a Japanese guy that was convicted, and I believe that the lolly stuff was added onto it because it was lolly stuff, but in general, like, they don't care, because pictures can't give consent because they're not real, meaning that there's no pain that's inflicted by it. Like literally by the DOS standard. The DOS standard is what they use to figure out if something is actually CSAM. And if you don't know, CSAM is child sexual abuse material. The way that they measured that,
Exploitation.
well, I've heard of both ways actually, but the way that they determine that is if it is a real person and if there is a victim in it. And when it comes to lolly stuff, unless it's of a real person, which 95 to 98% of the time it's not, you can't like, it's legal. It's weird, but it's legal. That's what you have to say. It's weird, but it's legal.
Yeah, except apparently I seen this before I got home from work. Apparently in Italy, it is now actually illegal to draw lolly content.
Okay.
Yeah, but nobody likes Italy.
Nobody's gonna move to Italy then.
It's like France.
States differ
Yeah,
from
see,
place
but
to
that's
place.
that's why I always joke about, right? Because in France, lolly artwork is illegal, but they actually produce stuff that is as close to legitimate child porn as you can get with real children.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, no, the drawings are a bridge too far. We can't do that.
Right. See,
It's like you have literal children in your fucking movies.
Yeah, like cuties happens. And
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
what's the difference here? Oh, but that's art. You gotta understand, cuties is art. You know, we're trying to sell a message with real kids.
Didn't fucking Hassan sign off on cuties too?
He did.
Did he? Oh
Ugh.
my gosh.
He did because he's Muslim, and it's specifically about a Muslim family. So he seemed to
Wait.
think
That's the cope he made? Is literally that it's a Muslim family, so it's okay?
it's a Muslim family,
Oh.
and at the end of the movie, the daughter like goes back to her Muslim traditionalist family because she realizes that society sees like how she acts as degenerate.
A real
Hassan
child was
Piker is
still
a special
abused.
kind of stupid.
A real
Yes.
child was still
Stupid.
abused in the
Yeah.
making of this movie.
No, that's the ultimate like argument against the movie, and what a lot of people pointed out is it's a movie that preaches against child exploitation.
It doesn't
while
matter.
exploiting children to make it.
It doesn't matter. You're exploiting and hurting children in the process of showing that you don't want to exploit and hurt
Yes,
children.
that's the point we're making.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm just like, it's like, guys, there's a reason why children are often not used in movies. It's because they want to avoid shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
High School Musical was done by a bunch of 20 and 30-year-olds. Zac Efron was not a teenager when that movie was made. Sorry, I'm just like, I hate people that try to argue that. It's like, no, it's still exploitative.
Yep.
But yeah, those are the reasons our little girl was canceled here.
Jeez.
She denies the allegations, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll figure out in the future if it's true or not. I kind of hope it is. Like she's obviously making jokes about it, so it's kind of funny.
I hope by some miracle she actually does reach out, but we're so fucking minuscule. I'm afraid that actually would False even try to go to her defense?
Probably
oh no,
not.
100% not.
Probably not.
Come on, we're open.
Children shouldn't be
I
in
bet
those
she'll just
scenarios.
never
I
say
agree.
anything.
I agree. Children should not be in those scenarios. It's like anything that involves teenagers or adults or some situations where the child could be put in any type of harm. The child should be removed from that movie. Period. Like there's so many rules that go into making movies. You would, it's France, so it's like they have different rules. But there's so many things that go into making sure the child is okay. That it's just like, how do you let this happen? I don't know. Anybody that defends cuties is automatically like, I automatically look at them very differently than I look at anybody else. Automatically. If you say you support cuties, I will not be friends with you
Okay,
ever.
let's not get too off track.
Sorry. Sorry.
Pretty sure
You're
chat knows all
fine.
our opinions on cuties.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. I think they need 20 more minutes to let it ruminate.
The only reason False would report on this because it got big enough. If it didn't blow up, he wouldn't have even ever covered it because it wasn't Hollow Live. Ugh.
I
As
genuinely don't
Sneeko?
understand how False decides what he covers. Because he just ignores big stories for no legitimate reason.
Yeah, I don't get that. Like, why? Like, if you want to be truly subjective, you want to cover as much as I mean, like, I know that, like, not everybody's gonna cover everything, and eventually it's just gonna be like, oh, we're not sure how many small things we'll cover, but it's just like, you want to try and cover everything if you want to be truly impartial. That's what a real journalist does.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, False does, like, the big stories, Lady does the very large and popular indie VTubers. Fucking Cody does... He covers a specific demographic of VTubers. I think it's Filipino VTubers, but I'm not sure. And I don't know what the fourth chick does, because I never actually see her in videos. So it's like there's some variety, but False takes up like 95% of the time, and then the rest get like 20-second segments, I think.
Right.
Pretty much.
So really quickly, one of our chatters says that it's not Hassan we're thinking of Sneeko.
I'm not sure Hassan did it.
You
It was
pretty
Hassan
sure?
too.
You're
It
pretty
was
sure?
Hassan and Sneeko.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, chat, you might. I will just have to.
I think
trust
chat
you.
underestimates how many people defended cuties.
Yeah.
I know I did.
After the controversy died down, a ton of people started defending it, especially people of a certain political persuasion, because they thought they were somehow owning the conservatives by defending borderline CP.
And then some conservatives started defending it too, which pisses me off.
Trying to do it under the guise of free speech.
Alright.
Oh, guys,
Every single one of them should have their hard drives checked.
Yeah.
What should we do next? Should we let Occo go off for a bit, or...
Did you want to talk to the chat about your Nemesis?
I mean, we could. That's probably gonna be like 20 to 30 minutes, because I'm gonna ask you guys what you think about this person too.
Oh, that's fine. Talking about the scammer and art harasser will take longer.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Hold on a moment. I'm gonna hide. We're gonna go back to the main podcast here, because I don't have any screenshots, chat. I don't have any screenshots for this person.
Yeah, we're just gonna let Occo go off.
Well, I'm gonna go off, but I'm also gonna ask you guys what you think of this person. Now,
Slay Queen, go off, sis.
Slay Queen. Okay.
I have been waiting for this moment since we started this podcast. Even before we started this podcast, I've been waiting for this.
Well, it's because you know how much I will go off. So chat, really quickly, I am going to say, if you know who I'm not going to name this person by name, because I don't want to give them, I feel like naming them will give them more clout than I feel like they deserve. And that sounds very mean, but I'm going to explain why I am very harsh on this person. And I hopefully you understand. But if you still think I'm a meanie, horrible person, you are allowed to think that.
Oh, you're definitely a meanie.
I am definitely a meanie. I'm autistic. I'm definitely a meanie. So, but anyway, I'm not naming them by name because I don't feel like, one, I don't want people to harass them, and two, I just don't think they're worth it. Unfortunately, and that's really sad to say, because I used to really respect them and want the best for them, but now I'm just like, when they inevitably stop VTubing and if they leave the internet, I will mention them by name. But like, okay, so there's a person. I've known them. I've known them for about 3-4. Let's see. I want to say it was before the pandemic when I actually met them, and I kind of grew closer to them when I moved. And they were starting streaming because they wanted to turn streaming into a job, which is, you know, not a bad idea. A lot of people want to turn streaming into a job. The problem is, and this is my fundamental problem, and this person in particular is why I will always preach, you cannot make streaming your job initially. You have to be doing something full time before jumping into this as your job, because if you don't, you're going to suffer. So this person, I won't mention their age. They're definitely over 20, 30. They're definitely over 30. They still live with their parents. They're over a certain age bracket, and sorry, I'm just trying to find my words here. I'm gonna look away from chat. So that I can concentrate here. But this person wanted to start streaming because their parents are like, you need to get a job, we need you to get moving and all that kind of stuff. And they wanted to make streaming their thing. And I asked them, I was like, why don't you just get a normal job? And they're like, oh, I can't do a normal job. And that's like really that's like really frustrating. Like now later down the line, they will be like, oh, I have autism. And that personally pisses me off because like everybody knows. And I've actually talked to a lot of people with disabilities, multiple disabilities, not just autism, but like I think I spoke to one that like has problems walking and all that stuff. But basically, I'm under the impression that whenever somebody tries to use their disability to negate responsibility, saying, "Oh, I can't. I've got this mental hang up. I've got this one thing that keeps me from working." It's just like, bro, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Because here's the thing, and I mention this all the time, and I say this with conviction because I need people to understand. When I was a child, my parents were afraid I would live with them forever as well, because some autistic children, I know this happens more with males with autism, but I know that females with autism can suffer this as well, because depending on your gender, your autism is affected differently. But I do know that like it's very difficult for you. It's very, very difficult for you if you have autism to actually, contribute to society because of just how difficult it is. You know, there are mental hangups that come with having autism. And I spent a long majority of my childhood, my teen years, to get to the point where I have a full-time job. I live with roommates, but I don't live with my family. And one of the reasons why I don't want to live with my family is because I feel like after a certain point, unless you are taking care of them, and unless the world is falling, like when COVID happened, that's one thing, because the world is falling apart, parents and you kind of need to band together so that you can defeat the government. But like when you are able to make money, when you're able to move out and your parents are fine, you should not be living with them. Again, there are special circumstances, but this person will go on and say, oh, I'm still living with my parents. One day I'll move out when my streaming career hits. But like, it's been 3 or 4 years. Their streaming career has not hit off. Let me explain kind of just like what they've done. They started off as a face cam streamer, and they transitioned to a VTuber. Now, I can't remember this. Now, I have hundreds, all right? And I'm going to sound like a schizo when I say this, but I have hundreds of screenshots of conversations I had with them where I just talked to them about like their strategy, their life, as well as other things. But like, I have talked to them extensively about how they can make streaming work. They started on Twitch, and I told them all of the Twitch strategies. They didn't listen. When they became a VTuber, they didn't listen to next to nothing I said about it. And this was before I knew Paco, before I became part of the agency. I already knew a lot of things that you could do to become a good streamer. They didn't listen to it. They didn't care for it. I became part of the agency. And and if Paco sees this, I'm sorry, but I did this because I felt bad for them and I wanted them to succeed. I told them secrets on how to succeed that normally I don't tell because it is competition. Like learning these secrets is competition, and so I told them things like, hey, maybe you should do something like do this instead of that, and maybe you should do this instead of this, and they're like, no, I'm just gonna do it this way. And I'm just going to do it like this, and you need to stop telling me what to do and all that kind of stuff. But the reason why I would tell them, hey, maybe you should try it like this is because, and they still do this, I checked recently, they still do this, every like 6 weeks to a couple of months, what they will do is say, guys, I'm not making enough money. Let me translate that really quick for you. Let me translate that really quick for you. Guys, you're not giving me enough money to survive. My parents are coming to me and they're saying, person, why aren't you making enough money? Because they obviously show their finances to their parents and all that kind of stuff. Actually, no, I won't mention that, but their parents know of their finances, basically. And like every 6 weeks to 2 months, they're like, guys, I'm just not making enough money. I need everybody to square up and all this stuff. And sorry, my chest is beating because it's like really frustrating. It's really frustrating because somebody mentioned DSP. somebody mentioned DSP in the chat. This person is the VTuber of DS. Like, they're not that big. And with how they act, I don't think they're really ever going to get much bigger than they already are because of how they act. They are basically the baby DSP of VTubers. With how they act, with how they're like, guys, you just need to... Sorry, I'm trying to think of a DSP quote here. It's like, guys, you really need to pull it together. You really... listen, I'm just putting all these streams on for you guys. All right, I'm streaming 6, 7, 8 days a week here. I'm putting up all this premium content for you guys. I'm not getting into drama with people, and nobody's providing the support that I need, and I just need the support so I can continue to do, like, literally they follow the DSP words to a fucking letter, all right. And I hate it. And like I said, for 3 years, like, and I had a fight with them a long time ago. They decided they didn't want to be friends with me anymore. It's like, okay, that's fine, it's whatever. And like about a year ago, they like became friends with me again, and I tried to drip feed them information. Like, I was like, hey, do this, hey, do this. They decided to start YouTube, and I think they did that because I told them to do it. Now that they're probably gonna say no, but I firmly believe that they tried it because I had success, and I was like, hey, you should try this. Look at what I'm doing, look at how I'm able to do stuff. They recently decided to give up doing YouTube because they don't think YouTube is moving as fast for them, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man. I'm just so pissed off when I see this, because just like, and the reason why I feel like they give up really quickly, because they try things and then they give up. They try things and then they give up. They try things and then they give up. They do this with Twitch. They're like, oh, I don't want to do the Twitch thing because there's too many ads and people aren't tuning into the streams. And then they do the YouTube thing and it's like, oh, people aren't buying my memberships and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, oh, I'm doing all these things. I'm throwing out these incentives. Shitty incentives, by the way. Don't tell your audience you're going to buy drawings for them and get drawings of yourself with them. All right? That doesn't work. There are better incentives that you could put down, all right, that actually get your audience interested in offering a little bit of support, all right? Maybe something like special streams with your viewers, the people that pay, you know? Sorry, slight tangent, but like, there's a lot of things they could do to actually make money. And they fumble it, and I tell them, hey, try this, and they're like, no, you're just telling me what to do, you're subjecting me to this. And then you know, they get greedy and they say, guys, I'm just not making enough money. And one day I broke. I'm just like, you are acting like a selfish bitch. You're acting like a selfish bitch that is telling your audience that all they are is a wallet to you, because that's what it looks like. Like, literally, I see them say, guys, you need to give me money. She's like, your audience is not a fucking wallet to extract money from. Your audience is people that are here to be entertained. They're here to grow connections. And here you are basically saying you're only worth as much as the money you're willing to give me. That is all they say. All I see from them. All I see from them. Sorry if I'm getting too loud.
Oh no, you're fine. It's like, this reminds me of the chick who is shaming her viewers for like, it's $5 a month. $5 a month, chat. $5 a month, and you can give me your $5. Chat, why can't you give me your, like, literally my parents are gonna force me to quit my job on Twitch that I make money. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think that they make a tiny bit of money. They probably make a tiny bit. I don't know how much money they make. I don't think if I ever asked them, even when I was talking to them, I ever would get that money, that toll from them. I know they're making at least a couple $100. But it's very clear that what they're doing isn't working, because they keep coming back and back and back and just saying, guys, I'm not making enough. This is paining me because my parents are doing this, and this, and they're saying I'm gonna have to get a job if I can't improve my situation. And it's just like, bro, don't make streaming your job. Like, literally, I do not plan to quit my job streaming until I can pay all of my bills with streaming. And even then, I'm gonna go part-time with my current job and continue doing this. Mostly because I don't want to sit on my ass all day, and because sitting on your ass all day is depressing. And so I'm gonna continue doing my job full-time, part-time, so that I have something to do. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like I have the same mindset as you, Occo. It's like, if I can make enough money to at least pay my rent I'd go part-time with another job because my current job doesn't allow part-time because they suck.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
But
Amazon's always
it's like-
accepting.
I worked there once. I don't want to go back.
Feels.
They suck.
Amazon hires anybody, chat. They'll hire
it's
this
like,
person I'm talking about. I know for a fact.
It's like, I think I'd go full-time. Part-time as like a gas station attendant because they pay like $19 an hour for third shift.
Ooh. I mean, third shift is third shift, but still, that's decent. That's really decent.
Most of the time, third shift, especially when you're out in the county, you're just on your phone the majority of the time because no one comes in.
Oh yeah, it's just I hate because like here's the thing. I see a lot of people on Twitter, and this person, they are literally one step from being just a VTweeter that cries and whines all day. All right, that's literally all they do. Literally all they do is cry and whine and bitch and moan, just saying, guys, I just don't have it. I just don't have the funds. And do you want to know what pisses me off more? Because it's not just that they're like, oh, I'm autistic, I can't get a job, you know, I'm stuck here because, well, X, Y, and Z, and one day I really want to improve myself. No. That pisses me off. But what pisses me off even more, there's another person I know, another friend, and I'm not naming them either because I asked them before, I legit said, hey, I'm going to be talking about this. Do you care if I mention this one thing? And I was like, I'm not going to mention your name. And they're like, okay. They're like, okay. There's a friend that this other VTuber and I both have. That I would say has different, I'm not going to say is worse off, but they have different life circumstances. All right. They have different life circumstances than this person. They had a lot of circumstances that like really suck. Like legitimately suck. Like I listened to them talk about all of the crap that they go throughout their life. The difference between this person and the other one that had the real shit going on is they don't complain. We'll call them person 2. Person 2 doesn't complain about their life. They're also like they don't really stream. They do other stuff, but they don't complain. All right. You know, sometimes they're down on their luck. You know, they have a lot of things that they have to work on, but they don't complain. And the thing that really pisses me off is this streamer likes to say, oh, we're just the same. This person that suffers and me, we're both the same. It's like, no, the fuck you're not. The person that you're comparing yourself to supports their parents. They work a job and they do so much. They drown themselves in work so that they can keep their head above water, because they actually, compared to somebody like you that lives at home, doesn't have to pay rent, doesn't have to do anything, just has a few chores that they also complain and bitch and moan about all the time. This person 2 actually does shit for a living. They actually do things for a living, and they actually have a job, and they have way more than you ever could, because you want to sit down and blame yourself, that you want to blame every little thing about why you can't work and why you can't do, you know, X, Y, and Z. It's just absolutely fucking disgusting to me. All right, it's like it's like a mixture of victim blaming and I don't know. It just like it pisses me off. And I've watched this for 4 years. I've watched this for 4 years. Not only have I watched it, when I wasn't friends with them and I wasn't in their life, people would tell me, and this is how much I need this person to understand. People would tell me, because they knew I was in a fight with them. They'd be like, hey, did you hear that this person did this? That this streamer did this? And I'm like, no, what did they do? And they would show me about how they were abusive to their chat, how they were verbally abusive, just saying, give me money, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And I would have people just come and tell me all these things that they do, and it's just like, wow, that really sucks. It really sucks that they do that to their chat and their audience. And it's just like okay, I get it. I get that, like, you know, when you want to make streaming your job, you got to work hard, but like the verbal and emotional abuse that I see spouting from this person, and I'm 50-50 here, chat. I am 50-50. When it comes to whether or not they actually know what they're doing is wrong, I don't actually know. If they don't know what they're doing is wrong, they should not be on the internet. Personal opinion. If they're gonna act like this, I don't think they should be on. I don't think they should really be on the internet. Period. Because of how they act, they need to get a life adjustment. They need to get a life adjustment. Like, and I don't wish pain and suffering on anyone. And I've said this multiple times. I wish this person well. I've told them multiple times, I wish nothing but for success for you so that you get the success in the future that you deserve, because I believe that everybody deserves a fair shot at life. But they are constantly making me regret saying that. They are constantly making me say, wow, you're a bitch. Maybe you do need to get kicked on your, maybe you do need to get kicked on your ass. All right, maybe you do need to have the world get shit in your face. You know, and like I don't want to bring my own problems into this, but you know, I had to buy a car. I had to buy a car because a guy like T-boned me in a parking lot. That's the most embarrassing thing I've ever had to admit in my life. But I got T-boned in a parking lot, and I had to buy a new car, and I'm in debt because another guy made a mistake. All right, I have things that I have to pay down, mistakes I've made that I have to pay down, and you're complaining that your parents tell you to do chores, that your parents want you to get a job, that your parents want to make something out of your sorry ass of a life because they probably want to enjoy the retirement or the end of their life that they have. It's really frustrating, all right? I really am, and like, they're not the only person that acts like this. Like, these are the people that act like this. I see them. They are a dime a dozen on Twitter, all right? They are a dime a dozen. And I honestly, 9 out of 10 times, don't care about them. Couldn't give them any less of a fuck. And they're going to stop VTubing or streaming or whoever these random people are in like a year or two, because they'll never make it. They'll never grow or rise beyond the fact that all they can do is sit and complain and beg. But the only reason why I care about this person is I liked them a lot. Not like, but like as an individual that really wanted them to work and really wanted them to find success.
A lot of goofy answers.
I was just nothing but constantly disappointed. Constantly, forever disappointed. Just like, so this is how it is. This is how you're gonna act. This is your life. This is you. This is you. This is how you're going to portray yourself. It's depressing. It's frustrating too, because like it's like you're acting like Chris Chan, trying to say that your disability is the reason why you can't do things. Well, the fuck, it's not. I've known people that are worse off on the autistic spectrum than you, and they have way more of a successful life than you do. What's your excuse? Laziness? 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 What is your excuse? The fact that you can't get off of your sorry ass and work? I'm sorry, I have to work because I don't want to go hungry every single month. And maybe you need to be threatened with the fact that you should go hungry to actually get off your ass and do something. And like I mentioned, chat. Like I mentioned.
I hate to cut off your impassioned rant.
You're fine.
But I have to go use the little fish's room.
You do that. You
Please
are totally fine.
Please do not get like too hot while I'm gone.
You are fine. And like I mentioned, chat. I would prefer, I am not calling this person out by name.
Should be swung at an angle.
I'm not calling this person out by name because they don't, it's not worth it. I'm not, if I wanted to get in real beef with this person, I probably would, but I don't, because honestly, all it's gonna do is bring them attention that I don't think they deserve. I don't think they do deserve it. With how they treat their audience, with how they act to people, with how they treat their friends. With how they treat their friends, because I see how they treat their friends. Yeah, I don't think they do deserve it. I don't think they do deserve it. And I will say, a drink. I will say, the last time I talked to them, I was an asshole. I was a major asshole. I was a huge asshole to this person. Because I was just like, you act like this. You act like such an idiot. Such a horrendous person. Not only that, you hurt your friends. I feel personally hurt by them because of how they've acted towards me. I'm not gonna, that's like personal shit that I don't need to bring up. That's like my own emotional baggage. But like, I with how they've treated other people, it's just like, this isn't right. How you treat people isn't right. And personally, I feel like you should have to feel life hit you just a tiny bit so that you understand that life isn't just sitting on your ass in your parents' attic or whatever, however many floors your parents have, so that you can just complain all day about the fact that life sucks, that your parents need you to do something. You know, I'm tired. I'm tired of it. So, you know, if they end up seeing this, which I don't care. If they end up seeing it, I don't care. But I would suggest that you don't out yourself, because if you do, you're only going to make it. You're only going to make the lolcow content. You're going to make it more fun, because I do consider you a lolcow. I consider you somebody that is just, again, like I said, a DSP light. They are a DSP light. Nothing but a DSP light. That's it. That's it. I don't know, what do you guys think? I want you guys to
So my it's like, from the context that I have and not knowing anything about this person, it seems like they never were forced to get a job like a big girl in their teenage years. Sounds like they have never been told no in their lives, and wears a victim card on their forehead every single day without taking it off, even while she's asleep.
well,
Look, I gotta say this for chat, because chat's mentioning it. We don't, like, pull punches for friends. Like, especially after you've told your friends something already multiple times in private. You're not gonna, like, pull your punches afterwards. And I could say, like, from just me personally, I was friends with Cup of Cocoa, called them out publicly, had them on stream, and even, like, called them out on stream. We've grilled people on stream before that we were kind of friends with, because you kind of have to.
Yeah.
I've called out my old friends that I used to stream with before in the same way Occo's doing now. Like, I'm not gonna give you kid gloves just because we were friends at one point.
no.
Yeah.
I expect, like, if I am a spurg, all right, if I have a tism fit and you both of you need to rein me in, I actually feel like I'd be more pissed off if you didn't rein me in. So I again, the only reason why I'm not mentioning them is I don't feel like they deserve the attention of actually people knowing who they are, you know. So
I mean, I was enjoying this, and it's like, some people
I understand
need.
your perspective, chat, but they kind of act like DSP.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they kind of do.
And it's like, you know how Melia is saying, like, you know, we grilled Melia like a lot, and
I
they
still grill
appreciate the
Melia.
grilling. Oh yeah, grilling Melia is a daily thing with love. But like, some people just need to have this talk or lesson hit in their face with a cast iron pan for it to actually stick. But sometimes that won't even help.
No.
Sometimes these people are just eternally in their little rut of misery and never gets out because they don't want to go up
Their
2
hug
steps
box.
to get out of that hole.
their hug
Yeah.
box. No,
Their little
and
hug box.
I will
Yeah.
say, chat, and you know, if you're friends with this person and you genuinely want them to do well, you need to understand that the reason why I am calling them out is because I want them to do better as a person. I don't want, it doesn't bring me pleasure. Well, it kind of does now, unfortunately. You know, a couple years ago, it wouldn't have brought me pleasure. It definitely didn't bring me pleasure a couple years ago, because I spent many nights crying about the fact that this person was just acting like this. Way more than I probably should have. But I don't care anymore, you know? I mean, I cared back then because it's just like, man, I really just want my friend that I want to succeed, that I watched grow from nothing, succeed, you know? I want that. But like, after this, it's just like, no. And I'll be completely honest with you. I was very straight. I was very rude with them a lot of the times. I think a lot of people that were around him felt like I was very rude to him. May have been rude to them with how I talk about what I think about them, but I don't care. I don't care. If I was rude, sorry. Cancel me for being a hard ass. Cancel me for being a hard ass. I'm sorry, but I'm not actually sorry, because if you're acting like DSP or you're acting like anybody like that, you've given me a free pass to clown on your ass. And unless they give me more ammo, this will be the only time I do it. So don't give them the ammo.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
man.
give me the ammo to make a fool of myself, because I will.
Man, we're gonna have to put the leash on you and take it off of Mizu, goddamn.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We can trade.
I wear the leash for fun, though.
This is true, you do. You do. No, I saw a comment that I appreciate. Who said that? I think it was Cryo. Yeah, Cryo said that they have a friend that has severe autism and is in the National Guard. It's like the spectrum of autism goes up and down. I think I am definitely on the higher end of being more high function. You know, it's when Christian's like, I have high function autism, guys. And it's just like, I feel like I'm on the higher end where I feel like I'm able to understand a little bit more. I don't always get the nuance of some things, but I feel like I'm on the higher end. But it's just like, the person I'm talking to definitely doesn't need to be coddled. Definitely doesn't need to be coddled. They know what's right and wrong. They know how to get a job. And it's just like, if you wanted it hard enough, like you want the things that you do for streaming, you'd get it done. You'd do it. You'd do it.
Look, I don't like to be rude to like people with mental disabilities, because I've seen people with what society kind of defines as low functioning autism, which legitimately is like the movie version of autism where they barely speak words, right?
That's
Yeah.
me on
They
a
still
bad day.
get jobs as like baggers and shit at stores.
Yeah, me on a bad day. Like legitimately, if I'm having a super bad day or eat things I'm not supposed to, that is me on a bad. I'm not being unironically. Me on a bad day is that. But like, no excuse. Like legit, no excuses. There is no way that people can't be functioning members of like. Even some of the people that have the most downtrodden experiences in life, legitimately, most downtrodden, they do better. They act better. They strive. And I think the only problem with this person is they don't strive for anything. They don't care. They don't want anything other than just being content, sitting where they're sitting, letting life pass them by. That's boring as hell, man. I don't know. I haven't said everything I wanted to say, because again, I don't want to like directly mention this person, but like there's a lot of like recently they did something that really pissed me off. They're saying, hey guys, please give me money, and then they buy something gigantic. They buy a gigantic item, and it's just like you're spitting in the face of all the people that support you. And it's just like, man, that pisses me off. It makes me mad at the internet, chat. It makes me hyper maddie. I'm hyper maddie.
Got them
Hyper
references
Maddie.
in there.
Oh gosh.
Sneaking that one in there.
I'm sorry. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. If you're mad at like, listen, I know some people are probably mad at me. Again, if you know who this is, I would suggest you don't out them, because the second you do, I will go even more unhinged. But yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's it.
People don't even know they have autism. Exactly. There are people that function for their entire lives. They don't even know they have autism. You know, Elon Musk, for all his faults, I'm pretty sure he has got some form of it. Richest man in the world.
Everybody knows he has autism.
Huh?
1000% he has autism.
Yeah, richest man in the world. You can hate the guy. I don't like everything he does. You can hate him. You can dislike him. You could want him off of the face of the planet because he ruined your Twitter. He's still the richest man in the world. What's your excuse? What's your excuse, chat? All right, I'm done. Let's move on. I'll continue. I will continue if we don't move on. Let's continue.
Okay.
Okay, what do
do
you want to move on to next?
the fucking what the fuck's her name?
The Asian baiting?
Yeah, let's do the Asian baiting.
All right, let me pull up the screen here. Mizu, tell me when I can show your screen.
You can.
All right.
We're being safe tonight.
Is it? There we go. Perfect. All
There
right.
we go.
Let me quiet for the moment. I gotta recenter.
So chat, as comes across every week, was the VTubers. What's your most controversial opinion about VTubing that would have you like this? Which, by the way, guys, please stop interacting with these. These are literally just interaction bait tweets, and it's a lazy interaction bait because the same one has been posted every like day for the past 3 months. Stop
Yeah.
it. I'm tired of seeing them. Nobody cares about your controversial opinion about VTubing. I didn't even reply to the first one, much less these. But this is the common one I actually see every time this comes around, and it gets on my nerves. Is there are too many VTubers that Asian bait? For those of you who don't know, it's basically like blackface, but for Asians. Is what it boils down to. Is you have a model that's like based off Asian culture or has Asian names, even though you're not really Asian. So technically, I would fall under it with my name, MizuhanaShibe, and Occo would fall under it because she's Gyaru, which is traditionally more like a Japanese
Plus my last name.
subculture. Yeah. But every time I see these, they get on my nerves. Because first off, you guys can probably already see on the side the pictures of their flags. This is an American who is not Japanese. I don't remember what the other flag is. I think it's like Philippines or something. But they are not Japanese. And they work at Activision Blizzard, so they kind of lose any right to talk about being ignorant.
Oh,
here's
okay, this is the fucking last thing that makes them extra invalid. Apparently their account is 13 plus.
Yes. So
also they're a
weird.
kid.
No, they're not a kid. They're saying that their content is for like teens.
Yeah.
Which is just weird.
Yeah.
It's always weird for me with streamers trying like do kids content. Is that
it's
Philippines? Am I correct about the flag?
I think so. I don't think it's Chile's flag. Let me see.
No, I know it's not Chile's flag.
Yeah, Philippines.
Yeah, but and then they try and do it make it about ignorance, like where they mix up different Asian cultures for their VTuber design, which is something you see a lot. People try and package their view in something that's a bit more palatable. Like, oh, I don't hate that you have like an Asian like VTuber. I hate that you mix a bunch of Asian cultures and you don't know anything about them. That's when you start scrolling down. Ignoring like her little sources or whatever, which I think are super stupid. She immediately gets in this thread with these other people, where the first person brings up the first example. What if they do it tastefully? And their excuse for why that's not okay is that they've never seen that happen before, which all of HoloLive, like half of HoloLive is English. I don't think they understand that. And that would also kind of fall under the second person who says, well, what if the model, the lore, and the stuff is made by an Asian person from the host culture? And then they bring up their real view on all of this, which is, why does a non-Asian person have to profit from Asian culture? So you see like how this always happens with these threads. We start with like the semi-reasonable take, and then we finally end up at their real opinion. If you're not Asian, you shouldn't do it.
And it's like, Hicks brought up a good point, saying you're a VTuber. VTubing itself is Asian bait.
Yes. They also joke under here about Silverveil, which is funny. Just because she's a Sakura wolf spirit, okay. As if that's makes her Asian. But this comes up with a lot of stuff. You see somebody else mention being Egyptian, because a lot of people use kind of Egyptian iconography. Honestly, you people are joyless, and all of you are American, and this is what we were talking about earlier with, like, Black Americans getting in fights with actual Africans. People from the host culture don't like you. They see you as, like, diet white people. It's actually really funny seeing, like, Asian Americans interacting with actual Asians and just actual Asians calling them, like, slurs.
Yeah, don't they call them, like, isn't there, like, a thing that they say they call half American and half Japanese people that's, like, really mean?
Yes. Also, somebody mentioned it in chat, an American crying about kimonos on Twitter. So yeah, not only did they get called out by the actual Japanese tourism board, and a ton of Asians, the person was trying to claim they were Asian and lived in Japan, and somebody dug up their Facebook. They're just like some white girl who lives in the Bronx. No, Gaijins is like all foreigners. It's kind of like their version of gringo.
Detroit Ren. That's what Hick said.
Yeah. It's just funny because they always try to pull this thing like, oh, I'm super into my Japanese culture, and you find a picture of them and they're just like the most average white person you've ever seen. And it's like, see, at least I'm just saying I like Asian shit. I'm not sitting here pretending to be Asian so I can talk down to people. You know Gringo? Everybody knows Gringo. Well, I mean, I guess
Everyone
not
knows
everybody.
Gringo.
Everybody knows that. I remember. Oh my gosh, this is a good
Look, American
story.
people have heard the word Gringo plenty of times. We have a very diverse culture.
Here is a very short story. I remember when I was taking a food handler's class so that I could work at a restaurant. I had a teacher who was Hispanic, and she told the story about how whenever she was trying to catch rats, she would always know if they were gringo rats or if they were regular rats, because the gringo rats would go for the cheese, and the regular rat... Well, no, it was the gringo rats would go for the peanut butter, and then the regular rats would go for the cheese.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna use the restroom. I'll be back in a minute.
Have a good trip.
Okay.
But you know, chat, I just hate this because every time this discussion comes up, it's never an actual Asian person talking about it, or it's never an actual person from the host culture. It's always somebody that's like a third or fourth generation American who's talking about how it's their culture, and they legitimately have no idea any of like the history behind it. They have like the same baseline understanding that every other white person has.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll be straight up, I've seen it a lot with like Chinese Americans talking about Chinese New Year. To be quite frank with you, astrology girls know more about Chinese New Year than you do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, all you guys know is that like there's an animal zodiac, and it changes every like year. But the astrology girls know like the exact month and day it changes over, and the exact cycles it goes through and what they mean. So don't give me this crap that it's your culture just because you were born a Chinese American. You don't know anything about it.
I guess.
There are people who legitimately care way too much about that stuff.
No.
Yeah.
That sounds like that one ProZ tweet where he said it's white as fuck to put soy sauce on rice, and every Asian in the Twitterverse saw it and said, "What the fuck is bro yapping about?" You know, I saw that. He's like, did you see that tweet from him?
Yeah, and then Ginny, the absolute queen that she is like, why would you put soy sauce on rice? Put barbecue sauce on rice like a real man. And I'm like, Ginny, no.
Like, everybody had to call him out because literally everybody knows that soy sauce on rice is like the most basic bitch of Asian cuisine. Like, if you don't know you put soy sauce on rice, you literally don't know like the most basic about anything Asian at all. It'd be like saying, oh, Asians don't actually eat rice. That's like a weird American stereotype. Like, it's that level of just not knowing what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like I can ask literally the half Asian man that is sitting right next to me how much rice is consumed in the household when he was a kid. Hey, babe,
Oh,
how much rice was consumed in the household when you were a kid? Babe!
there's that also reminds me about like the people that are like, why do white people think like Asians actually like anime has any real relation to Asian culture? And it's like because it's their most popular medium and artistic expression? Question.
4 to 5 days a week sometimes? I don't know.
4 to 5
4 to
days a
5
week.
days of rice.
Sometimes. And we'd always have like a backup and
Oh, the backup bag? Or just backup rice?
like over on the countertops. So that way it's ready to go.
How many pounds did your mom buy?
Lots.
It's
Every
just,
time it's a big warehouse run, we get like the big bag.
15-pound bags of rice.
To be fair, I buy stuff like that. It's super cheap to buy it in bulk.
Yeah.
But it's, I think what it is, because I see it a lot, is a lot of these people assume that if something is a stereotype, it's false. When the reality is stereotypes are stereotypes because they're on the whole true.
I actually have a funny story about that. One of my friends who is black, we were in a call because they just wanted to hang out with me. We watched a whole bunch of TikToks that were talking about nothing but black stereotypes because they wanted to watch them. And every single time we watched one, they're like, yes, we do this. Yes, we do this. I think everybody else does this, but yes, I do this. And I'm just like, I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. And I was laughing because I was just like, it's like, it's not racist for me to laugh, right? And he's like, no, it's true. And I was like, okay.
This Spark said, a black friend, is it me?
Yeah,
no.
it's just one of those things where it's like, sometimes
Have more than
stereotypes are
one.
true. It's just how it is. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, stereotypes are true, just like how... Oh, I'm trying to think of a white person one that's true, because I definitely know that a lot of the white person ones are true. And I have no problem saying that the white person ones are true, because it's funny. Sometimes they're very funny.
This actually annoys me, right? That like a lot of the white person ones I see are always just like false. Because it's like we have good stereotypes you could make about us that are funny. But it's always like the you guys don't know how to use a spice. So have you seen a white woman's like spice cabinet, bro?
It's like, have you seen Gordon Ramsay? He will spit out your steak if it's not seasoned.
And like you'll have the same people that think salt and pepper are like a full spice array. We'll look at somebody with
Maybe for a
white
poor
person with like a counter full of like cilantro and dill and all these other herbs and spices and be like, those aren't real spices, those are just plants.
Well,
It's
as an Italian
it's like
person...
the thing is,
Excuse me?
It's like the thing is with like, you know, just salt and pepper. All you need for a good steak, if you know how to make a steak, is salt and pepper. You don't need anything extra on it. If you need extra shit on your steak, you're just a bad cook.
It depends. It depends.
Nope, I'm right. I'm sorry, but I'm right.
Well, how
Salt's
do you...
not even a
I mean,
spice,
it
it's a
depends on how you
mineral.
cook the
True.
steak. It depends on how you cook the steak. Because, like, I've had some good steaks, and they were cooked very wrong, and they didn't have any spices on them. So I think if you cook the steak right, and then add some spices in the immediate, like if it's part of a bigger dish, yes.
How do you like your steak? How do you eat yours cooked?
I don't actually eat a lot of steak because of how small my throat is.
You hear that, chat? She can't get the beef down.
Oh, it's a sad day.
Tiny
Sorry,
throat.
guys.
No, but like as with my one, I think it's like 132.
Don't ever let your girlfriend use that excuse on you, chat. They're lying.
I promise to my significant other that I will not
You
use
can
that
make it fit.
excuse. Chad, I'm not kidding. Like I had an ulcer a couple years ago, and it did do damage to my esophagus. So
I mean, if it's soft enough, it could fit in any space. It could dilate.
I'm actually considering when I go to the dentist
A
asking if there's a
throat
way to fix
dilator.
it.
Throat dilator.
How would you even bring that up with like your doctor? Be like, hey doc, so I kind of need my like throat stretched out a little bit.
I mean,
No, not like that. I don't want to complain.
See, part of the problem with that conversation is I also have my tonsils because my mom did not want my tonsils to get cut out, and so I still have those.
I don't think I ever had mine out.
Well,
I got mine cut out because I'm prone to strep throat.
oh, fun! Just blend it into a smoothie. I don't think we'll blend exactly everything into a smoothie. I don't think that'll work. Anyway, what I was gonna say.
I think that would be bad for the guy.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, as a 132 Italian, because I know my mom is 1/16 Italian, and I know that doesn't sound very cool, chat. I know being a 16th or an 8th sounds cooler, all right? But at least I'm not a 1 in 128, all right? It's cooler to say 1 in 32, all right? All right, but like as somebody who is a little bit Italian, and most Italian, I would say, depending on how Italian you are. You're either more tan or more pasty. But most Italians, we love our spices. But we also like to invent. My mom likes to do this thing where she makes spaghetti, but for the sauce, what she'll do, and this is actually really cool. If you guys want an easy recipe for a good Italian dish, or you want to get bruschetta, I think that's how you pronounce it, right? It's a type of bacon, it's a type of ham, basically. I'm gonna sound very uneducated here, even though I am like a tiny bit Italian here. But you want to get some high quality ham or bacon, all right? You want to take eggs after you're done cooking your pasta. This works really well with angel hair. You put your pasta in a bowl, and while it's still steaming, put like a couple eggs in it. That sounds gross. The hot steam will cook the eggs, and you will have. And it's not like fried rice, but it's like it'll make it into a cooked up egg thing, and you have the bacon, and you have some spices in there. Shit's delicious. Really good.
Chat would like to know: does Occo eat the gabagoo?
The gabagoo. The what?
The gabagoo.
Gabagoo.
I don't know what that is.
Have you ever heard that?
No. I guess if that's an
We're, like,
Italian
making
thing.
fun of Italians.
If that's an Italian thing, I guess I don't have enough Italian in me. But like,
Well,
no.
I've got a little Italian in me, so if you come over here, I can put a little Italian in you.
I'll have to decline, but okay.
Man, as I like to call myself a certified half bean, I use half the amount of.
You make half tacos?
I make half tacos. I
oh,
do.
Oh, since you're so you're like just half American, half Mexican then, or?
See, other VTubers
half
like to use the
Mexican.
fact they're half of a race to try and police people's art.
Mm-hmm.
We like to use that we're half of a race to like be mildly racist on a podcast.
Well, and it's not racism. It's just, is it racism to like joke about things that you actually are?
No.
Okay, but what I was gonna say.
It's like.
I'll go first.
It's like I'm half Mexican, and then I'm a mix of German, Polish, Irish, and a couple other things, but I don't remember. But mostly those three.
Well, what I was gonna say is, since you've got a bit of American and Mexican in you, you make spaghetti
Let's go back
tacos.
to Ward 13 real quick.
Oh hell yeah! I've actually tried those once. I have tried those once. They're
Make some
actually pretty
spaghetti
good.
tacos with meatballs in them. That's half Mexican, half American right there. According to them, it's not racism if it's Italian.
American.
I mean, depending on the
Yeah.
person you ask, if you're Italian, you are counted as white. So, which is, I mean, okay. When it comes to the whole race thing, I don't care. Like, there are people that are different shades of skin, and you should just respect them no matter what shade of skin they are. Whether they are as pasty as a vampire, or if they are as dark as can be, you should just respect them no matter what. So.
Oh, would we like to move on to the call out?
Yes, that's gonna be a beefy one.
Yes, let's move on to the call out. The second call out, I guess you could say.
Here, I'm gonna have to...
Because mine wasn't big enough.
Pop it. There we go. So this chat, we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different people calling out this person.
It's a lot of people. It might be legitimate this
There's a
time.
lot going on here. So would we like to cliff notes or spark notes it for the chat?
Yeah, give a
Yes.
TLDR in the beginning, and then we can go through it.
Would you like to cover this one, Lumi?
Yeah, I can cover this one. All right, so there is a VTuber that went by, well, recently.
Oh, the count's gone. Never mind.
Yeah, the account's gone. She deleted it as soon as it started getting traction.
Oh well.
But this VTuber has been known by many names, but her most current one was Mousy. She also went by Clover Milks, Kiyumi, VT, Skelly, Lumisense, C-Cubus, which I kind of want to yoink that name just in case if I ever want to get more not safe for work stuff. Gwim Reaper, and a few other names. She has been called out by her ex and various artists for scamming, harassing, and doing a bunch of other shitty things with artists she has worked with. constantly buying and selling models without the artist's permission, breaking their TOS essentially, and would upsell by like $500+ to make a profit.
So
Jeez.
from what I've gathered from this is, I wish I knew like how long she was actually active. I don't feel like this is someone who ever plans to be like a real VTuber. I feel like this is someone who was just using like the identity to get in touch with like different artists and be able to like scam all these pieces out of them.
Sure.
Although I have to say, on some level, how did they fall for this?
Here, tell me.
Because like this person was like, I've worked on 2 of her models. It's like, really? You worked on somebody that said both of these were going to be her models? Like, what
It's like-
relation do these have to each other at all?
What she was saying, like what her quote-unquote shtick was that she was a changeling VTuber.
I mean, that's cool. Kind of expensive.
But it's like, with changeling VTubers, you would think that every form would follow the same color palette at least. But
Well, they'd
like,
have a bit more similar design between each other than
Yeah.
just the bits.
yeah, and it's like, what I think within the last year, she bought like 15 different models, I believe. She's not strapped on cash, she has money. But she tries to lowball a bunch of prices for artists, saying, hey, can you do this model in like 15 expressions for like $800?
What?
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, that's not bad. The color palette seems alright. Or is she a trash panda?
I don't know, but these are the most recent designs that she has bought.
She must have a lot of money.
She does. Because
Well, like we mentioned, like she's been selling them.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I didn't understand. So she buys the models and then sells them upcharged.
Sells them with a markup to someone else.
Yep.
Wow.
So that's why she's
And-
always trying to lowball artists, because the lower she
Yep.
can get an artist to go, the more profit she'll make when she inevitably sells the model.
This is a weird
Yep.
version of NFTs that I haven't seen before.
and it's like, what sucks is that some of these models are so fucking cute, but a shitty ass person got a hold of them. And it's not, none of these characters are ones that she created on her own. They're adopts that she bought from other artists. She would say that, oh, I came up with these. Well, at least for one of them, I believe. I commented on one of the posts. But someone got a DM from her saying that, hey, I don't want you to take inspiration or use anything for my characters because I own copyright over them. It's like, no, you fucking don't. You don't own these fucking characters. You didn't even make them, my dude.
So this is kind of like a side point. I haven't seen any of the artists say this, but I always feel like a need to remind artists of this. Your TOS is not legally binding. Because I see
mean,
this a
some
lot.
artists do.
Well, because I've seen this a lot with a lot of these, is a lot of people saying, she sold the model against my TOS. I hate to inform artists of this, but if you sell somebody a model with full rights to it, you literally have no rights to what they do with it. I'm fine with
crazy.
this. I'm fine with you guys calling them out for being like scummy, but a lot of artists seem to think like their TOS is like the end all and be all. Like, you can't put in something in your TOS that's illegal and it be upheld.
No.
And it's like, I will say this again. I know I said this multiple episodes ago, but artists, when you send people their models, well, yeah, the model art, do not send the artist do not send your client the PSD model. Send it directly to the rigger. Do not send it to the fucking client because they can sell it.
I actually
Because-
highly disagree with that. I really think if you are a moral artist, you need to send them the PSD.
Ooh.
It's like for for situations like, you know, what these artists went through, I'd be I would understand completely for not sending the clients the PSD files.
Mm-hmm.
See, but you can't sell somebody full rights to something and not give them everything.
No,
which is
yeah, I
something
agree.
artists in the VTuber space need to understand. You are not selling somebody like minimal usage rights to a product. You are giving them everything and rescinding all claims to it. You don't really have a right to hold on to anything anymore. And as a VTuber, you are stupid if you do not get your PSD files. I have my own PSD files.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know what I have. The artist gave me all of the files in a Google Drive link. I assume that's all of them.
It's like I have all my PSD files, but it's like I can understand why some artists would not send them and just directly contact the rigger that the client has chosen.
Like worry about that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to understand that's a risk you take doing this work.
Yeah.
Charge what you think you're worth. If they turn around and resell it for a profit, they're scummy, but that doesn't mean you should change how you're doing things. You got your money that you asked for of the exact amount you asked for it. If you have a problem with that, you should have charged more. I genuinely on this issue, I struggle to sympathize with artists.
I think it's a case by case. I don't know. I think some artists are a little too stingy with how they set up their rules, and they're allowed to be. You know, we live in this capitalistic society where when you set up your rules, if they're not like the best, people aren't going to go with you. But you're allowed to set up your rules. Just understand that if they're not legally binding, they don't have to follow them, and suing isn't going to do nothing.
You know, it's like, honestly, I want to try to contact a couple of VTuber model artists to, like, talk to them about the whole process, because, like, I know we're talking from a client's perspective. I want to see what the artist's perspective is on this.
I will be honest, chat. Sometimes I try to sound like an asshole because sometimes these people like need a little slap in the face, like of reality.
Yeah.
Because like, look, this is a situation where I feel bad for the artist because it's not like a one-off thing. Like I remember seeing at one point there was an artist who complained that their client bought a model, and the client realized a month later that they really fucked up and they should not have spent that much money on it. So they sold every piece of art they had ever gotten for their character for like 25% of what it was worth. Like
Really?
they took a massive hit to try and make their money back because they realized they really shouldn't have spent that much money. And the artist who made their model came forward and says, "My TOS says you can't resell that. And this is a really scummy thing of you to do, and I will actively DMCA whoever you sell the model to."
That's breaking the law.
Okay, that
is law abuse, and that can actually put you in jail. You can actually get put in jail for that.
The thing is, though, I've seen a lot of artists that kind of have the same perspective, even if they wouldn't go through with like a DMCA, but they do have the perspective of even if you sell it for like peanuts to try and make some money back because you're quitting, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. But like, no, you gave up the rights to the model when you sold it, and I'm sorry. At some point, you have to like cut your losses, just call it a day.
Pretty much. Like I tell artists all the time, it's like, this is gonna be used for commercial purposes. Charge whatever you want, because once I get a hold of it, you have no say. You know, and the main artist that did my model, you know, I try to pay him as fair as possible, and I was like, if you want more for this, you know, whatever. But like, you know, he understands that like this is for professional purposes. Charge what you want, because once it's out of your hands, you know, we can be friends about it. But it is a product that I'm using, you know, and he understands that. So I think a lot of artists
like I
are
try and be
uneducated.
respectful of my artists and follow their TOSs. But every once in a while, I'll see something in the TOS that's hyper stupid, and I'll even tell them, like, I can't abide by this. This is a dumb requirement, and I'm not going to listen to it.
Yeah.
Like, I saw one that said they would sell you something for, like, commercial usage, but that you couldn't use it as, like, a PFP or something.
What?
Okay,
like, it was very
stupid.
specifically in their TOS, and I called them out on it. I'm like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I have no idea what that would even be a requirement.
See, artists like that, unless their art is like pristine, are gonna go out of business. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but if you're going to like make all these requirements, I'm going to somebody else. I have literally now that I have the option, because there's so many people, if you have too many requirements or you're too expensive and I don't feel like the quality matches up to the price, I'm going somewhere else. You're not worth it. I'm sorry. People on Twitter, myself included, aren't rich. I don't want to like spend $200 or $300 on something that I know I can get for $60 or $70 or even $80. And if you're gonna have all these weird ass requirements on it, the guy next to you is similar in quality. I'm sorry, very few artists are a dime a dozen. My artist is, thankfully, which is why I'm still with him. But most of them are not, and I would rather just go with somebody else who is less stupid.
So,
It's like,
don't
oh,
worry,
no, you're
Kat, I will
fine.
never stop being a Grinch. I actually learned this about myself today. I am not jaded. Everyone else these days is just legitimately wrong.
I agree. I agree. A lot of the times people are. I think sometimes your the way you bring the message can be rough to some people, but I do think that for the most part you're right.
it's like for artwork that you don't have commercial use for, I'm completely fine with artists like keeping their watermark slapped over that shit. It's like, okay, there you go.
Never
You
go with
want
them
that
again.
watermark off?
I will
Pay for it.
I will never go with an artist that does, because like again, I understand it. I get it. If you want to, like with
Yeah, I'll never buy an art with a watermark.
like with Ari, he like in all of his art, he puts his name somewhere in the corner. It's just like he's very inventive about it. So not only am I okay with it, but like I make sure that it's on the screen, because like that's fine, that's inventive. But if you slap a gigantic ass watermark over the image somewhere that's like very obscure, it's like I'm never going with you again. Like I have actually had art done where it's just like this artist is never getting my services again. I'm sorry.
It's like I think like 3 main artists I really go to for like shit that I really want to eventually sell as merchandise. And that is my friend Ham. She does very good work, really good prices. I had to bully her for like 4 years to finally raise her prices a bit. My friend Dal, who is also a very good artist, and Jem, who did my Christmas picture that I've been posting everywhere.
Oh, so here's my hyper hot take on artists that like constantly demand credit when you're buying like full rights to something, or like you said, the ones who slap the very large obscuring whatchamacallit watermark on it. I paid you with money, not an exposure.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's also the thing where it's just like, yeah, I'm buying your art. I try to take the time and say who it is. For the most part, people know who the artist is that does most of my work, but I try and say, hey, this is who made this. But like, if I'm buying the artwork and the rights, it doesn't matter. Sorry.
Like, look, if I'm posting on Twitter, I'm gonna like obviously shout you out and be like, hey, look at this beautiful piece this person made. But I've seen these artists that are like, literally every time you post this in the future for perpetuity, or anytime it's shown on stream, I have to be credited.
No.
And it's
No.
like, no.
I don't understand
I'm
that.
not doing that.
Like, okay, when I was a role player on Twitter, there was like some people that were really anal about, oh, where's the sauce? Who credited it? Who is it? If you don't say who it is, we're gonna cancel you. And it's just like, why do you care? Like, I understand some people that just want to find the sauce for images for specific reasons, but like,
That's what Sauce Now is for.
yeah, but like, I understand if people want to know where the image is so that they can get it themselves and maybe look up the artist and all that stuff. I kind of get that. However, it is not worth trying to be an asshole to somebody saying that you're going to be pissed off at them or block them. People legitimately did this in the roleplay sphere, but like they would block people and shout them out and say, this person doesn't credit people, you can't roleplay with them. And it's just like, shut up. I will credit if I find it and I know. Sorry. go ahead.
As an extra role player, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're fucking talking about. It was the most insufferable fucking thing in the planet.
It's like, yeah, I get it that you want to show who did it, But if I don't know, sorry. Sorry.
Ugh, man. And it's like,
Imagine
I don't
every instance of an artwork or 3D model
Oh,
around.
kind of died there for a
okay,
moment.
that'd be fucking funny though. Ugh, man. It's just a whole fucking thing.
You know what I could do? Chat, just for you. I'm gonna turn the screen invisible for a moment, chat. I am gonna show you what a good watermark looks like. Again, I'll show you the main artist that does all my work here. You know what? I gotta scroll a little bit so that they don't see the stuff. This is where my artist, this little flap right here is where the artist puts his watermark, basically. You wanna know where that is? Right, oh, it's kind of hard to see now, but like, right here is where he puts it. And like, I feel like artists that do that, that's just fine. Like because here's the thing. If someone wants to support your art, they're gonna take the time to look for it. If they see that there, put your tag somewhere on the image that's legible, that people can find. Because I've also noticed that some artists, they don't make their tag legible, and it's just like, I can't find you because I like your art, but I can't find you because you don't make it readable. But like, if you put it in a nice place where people can find it, it's somewhere smart, like I just showed you, chat. People are gonna be more willing to look at your products. Just don't be an asshole about it.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's like, don't forget,
Also, I
we're
bought your art
living.
to help advertise myself. That's why I paid for the commercial rights to it.
Yeah.
Specifically here to advertise me.
It's like, don't forget, we're also living in a generation, in a time period where people don't want to take the effort to do anything. They'll look and be like, huh, no artist is tagged, and then move on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pretty much.
Man.
What about the shadow of the neck? I mean, if you want, listen, there are many inventive places where you can put like a small at of your Twitter name or whatever your online name is. Just don't make a giant ass watermark. The way that Ari does all of his watermarks, absolutely fantastic. Every single time, it's just perfect. But like, that's how you do it. People will find you and respect you. As a normal consumer, I will tell you that most consumers want to be able to see the image, and if your username is in there somewhere, they'll find you. That's all.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nova. You have missed the Corpo fired. You may have to watch the repeat.
That is gonna be.
But yes, Corpo got fired for having a gangbang.
Yes, that was the beginning. That was the beginning of the stream. Once it, you know what we could do here. I will link the YouTube stream so that you can find it later. Nova, I will put it. Excuse me. I will put it in your chat. Actually, do you
That's
allow
fine.
links?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
I'm trying to think what else. I can't think of
No,
anything else.
so we're gonna.
besides-
We have an official Under the Tea YouTube now.
Yep. And we
Which is
also have
only
our
for the vlogs.
Spotify.
Yep, the Spotify, the Under the Tea YouTube. The YouTube will obviously be active first because it doesn't have to be like edited or anything. It can just be boom, it's there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And we've
I also
been
leave
told
my
that
Twitch mods up immediately.
and I know that some people have said that they enjoy listening to our rambling, so they just all listen to the stream VOD, whatever.
Pretty much. And it should be in 1080p. Actually, I can check right now. It should be. Native 1080p 60. Yep.
But yeah, our current discussions today were those, and then we have two more if we want to get into it or we want to start winding down, which was the doxing of Andy and Lelay,
We can talk about that.
and then what was the other one? Was there another one, or am I thinking of
I
something
had a
wrong?
short thing that I could bring up about alinity.
No, doesn't care about that cat thrower.
I could bring
Cat
up
thrower,
the
cat
alinity
vodka
thing.
feeder, pussy yeast, fucking beer bitch. Yeah.
No, that wasn't her. That's Amaranth.
Oh, even
They're
grosser.
all the
Alinity,
same.
I will do a slight
Yeah,
thing
they're all
on
the
Alinity when we go. Well, I'll talk about her last.
Well, it's like the doxing of the Andy and Lelay
Mhm.
dev has been covered by like literally everyone, and I'm sure everyone knows about it. Even Asmongold talked about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's just beating a dead horse at this time.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. I guess I can like hit the main points. So a group called like Soy Jack Party
Oh,
or
I know
something.
Them
They're
again?
basically like people that got rejected from 4chan for being too autistic and too aggressive. They get really mad at the idea of trans people existing. Like, they're legit. When you think of the stereotypical transphobe, that is unironically them. The one that everybody says exists, that you can never find anywhere, it is them on their own little forum, all chatting shit with each other. And they got it in their heads that the dev for Andy and Lelay was a trans woman. All they managed to get from their docs, to my understanding, was her full name, the fact that she definitely is not a trans woman, and that she's married
Oh.
happily.
I'm gonna be honest. It's good that that's all I got.
Yeah, so basically what they found out, because what a lot of people don't know is a lot of times when you hear doxing, it is not like a real dox. It is people connecting accounts to each other to eventually get to something like a Facebook, where most people publicly post like where they live and stuff, because a lot of people don't understand OPSEC. But the devs for Andy and Lelay obviously grew up with the internet, so they are a lot more private about what information they put online. So all they could get was like the really basic bitch stuff, like name, they're married, and they're actually a woman. And that was all they could get.
They're
but it
actually
did-
a woman. Wow.
Yeah. But it did like scare her enough, or I guess irritate her enough, to take a step back from the internet as a whole.
Mhm.
Which on the one part I kind of get it. On another part, I'm kind of like, you're kind of a baby. Because the information they got was not all that much.
I have to say, if she is married, she's probably thinking about her kids as well.
Yeah.
That is the only thing I can think of. When a lot of people get when a lot of normal people get doxxed, it is probably the family that is the first thought. Probably.
Because I don't think if you care about... Here's the thing that's weird, right? If you care about getting doxxed, you are already not necessarily a normal person. You are already an internet person.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can tell you this with, like, my grandparents. If I was like, if I, like, went to my grandmother's Facebook under a private account and I said, this is your address, she'd be like, yeah, addresses are public. Because
Yeah,
that's how,
the
like,
phone
old...
book.
That's like how old normal people think. They think, yeah, everybody knows my address. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
It's like
It
how-
really is an
it-
internet thing to
It
care
is.
about
Yeah.
somebody saying your name, somebody knowing what you look like, and somebody knowing where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and Cerno brings up a good point. Swatting is a concern. However, here's what I'll say: if you are an internet person, here's what I will suggest: call your local police department. Say, "Hi, I am an internet person. This is where I work. This is what I do." If you get calls, please don't come and try and slay my dog. Please, at the very
Don't raid
least,
me.
Yes.
Just knock or
Just-
give me a call ahead.
call me. I will stand outside with my hands up, basically. I don't
Yeah, like,
know.
I will comply with whatever you want me to do. You only need to ask. Don't shoot me. Don't flashbang me.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
That's what we said. They're called like Soy Jack Party or something. I've honestly never heard of them before.
I
I have.
heard of them because they were the ones who doxed, and this is a name that is kind of weird to say. The Giggly Goon Clown. They doxed them.
Yeah. Mizu, if you don't know about Giggly, Turkey Tom made
Ugh.
like a 2-hour video
I don't like that.
documenting everything.
They are a real
It's-
predator.
It's a wild fucking ride, man.
Yeah, that is what I kind of learned about them from. But It's interesting. Really interesting, chat. But no, they're not actually trans. They are a woman. Or excuse me, a biological woman. I guess I don't know if that's wrong to say or not, but like they are a. Would Nail be right? They were born as a woman. I guess we could say.
Yeah, we don't gotta complicate things. It's fine.
So that's why they were doxxed. It's thankfully not as bad as it initially sounds.
Also, a lot of people were trying to say, well, the evil right-wing 4chaners doxed her, so you can't like complain about us complaining about the incest ending anymore. Except the fact a ton of them kept saying, well, you know, she deserved to get doxed because like incest.
Ugh, my fucking god.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
hate
both on the
Andy
same
so
side.
much.
You're both on the same side in this. It's just they did it first. Like, let's not pretend, okay?
I've already not made quite a few friends today, but I will say this and I'll keep it short. If you hate forums, like the farms, like Soyjack, people that just dox people in general, then you should be coming to this woman's beck and call. It does not matter if you like or dislike incest. If you are against doxing, which I know a lot of these like throwaway bot accounts, these VTweeter accounts, they're just like, oh my gosh, I don't like doxing, I don't like that doxing website and all that stuff. It's like, okay, that's fine, but you gotta defend blanketly everyone. You can't just say that you dislike one thing and are okay with her getting doxxed because she made a scene that literally is the bad end, like 5 or so minutes that you don't like. All right, that is hypocritical, and it allows me to say, oh, so you do like the farms then? You do like all of these websites that are bad? You're just supporting doxing here, so you must like them then. I don't know. These people are just disingenuous as fuck, and I hold no sympathy for them because of that.
Well, don't forget, doxing is bad unless it happens to someone you don't like.
Yeah, I will say this. I don't think people should. I don't think you should actively go out and do it. I know that people do it just to do it. I don't think it's right. But by the same token, I don't necessarily care, because if someone wants to find out something, they'll find out something, and that's really all there is to it.
Yeah.
Something that always annoys me with a lot of those sites, because you'll always get the excuse of, well, it's just, you know, it's compiling information. It's like, yeah, that's true. But what actual tangible reason in like the story of this person did you need their address and phone number?
Yeah.
Like, you can make the story of them being like a crazy, insane person and not include, by the way, here's where they live and here's their phone number. I don't like, you can't use that excuse with me. I just don't buy it.
No, there is no excuse. It's either all okay or none of it's okay. iDubbbz.
Well, no, I agree. Like, they can do it, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to hear the excuse that you had to include it for like story purposes. It has nothing to do with the story of this person.
No. I find whenever somebody whenever somebody does it, I look at why they do it. Most of the time, in fact, I would say pretty much every single time, it's not for a good reason.
I will say doxing is in every case an intimidation tactic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because sometimes it's a valid intimidation tactic because the person is a bad person and you want them to know that you can call like the police on them for a legitimate reason.
Yeah, and that's...
But that is never not the purpose of doxing for it to be like intimidation. It's always intimidation.
I will say also, as someone who's worked with police, they fucking hate you people that SWAT, and they one day will crack the whip really. Like, here's the thing that like worries me, because like the swatting really sucks. I'm worried about the government overreaching to stop it. You know what I mean? I don't want the government to like overreach super duper hard, because you got people on both sides of the political spectrum saying, oh, we need people online to have all of their identities and stuff posted. It's just like, no. But that's what's coming. If swatting gets worse and worse, that's what's coming. So,
see,
like,
that would be my thing with that is that would just be like an excuse they use to crack down on people. Because the reality is, you should not just immediately SWAT a place because you got one phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they'll never accept that. They'll never accept that is the actual answer, that you shouldn't just immediately swat a place because you got one phone call saying they're a bad person.
No, I think the problem when it comes to police and stuff is they have to take everything seriously. I remember when I was working, I was doing security work. I got a call from someone saying, we're pretty sure this isn't real, but we have to take it seriously. Somebody said that there was X item, and I'm being careful because of YouTube. There is X item in your station. You need to evacuate the station, and hopefully the squad doesn't have to come. And that was actually terrifying.
See, though, you have to take it seriously, which you can take, like, swatting threat, or, like, people saying that, like, somebody's a terrorist seriously, without immediately pulling out, like, the full SWAT team.
Right.
Because that's the problem. They go 0 to 100 about everything. And part of being a police officer is you can't stamp on other people's rights. So you can't use, like, oh, somebody made a phone call to justify stamping completely over somebody else's rights. You have to take both of them seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. They don't always take both sides seriously. They're like, okay, no, we're police. We can just kind of do whatever. Honestly, stuff like swatting has made me like lose respect for like policing in general.
It kind of does, because like, and again, I see both sides to it, because I was like, yeah, you have to take it seriously, but at the end of the day, it's just like after the third, after the fourth, you know, and all those times where Tim Pool got swatted, and it's just like, you realize,
especially when you keep getting called to the same place.
Yeah, it's just like it's like, don't you want a phone call? You know, don't you want to like, maybe you could send one guy or two guys. I know you got to like make sure it's real, but like if the fact that like you're being told for the 10th time I'm turning people into pepperoni isn't actually real, maybe you should try to not take that as seriously. I don't know. That's the problem, is like they have to take it seriously every time. And my only reply, Cerno, to that is I think that if everybody's info online, swatting probably would get worse. And by the inverse, I think it would also get better, because if you are required to sign into something to be online, your name would be put to something, and if the swatting would be false, you'd probably be instantly convicted. I don't know.
In the immediate, it would get substantially worse, and then after a couple months or so, it would start to die out.
Yeah.
As people were getting, like, arrested for it and in trouble for it.
Yeah. Here's the thing, because I don't think very many people have been arrested. It's only going to take a few people getting arrested for it to actually die down. The moment that they actually bring a couple people in and make examples of people, it will die down. I don't know. SWAT bad. Don't dox people because you hate them. Solve all your internet beefs and Smash. Or meet up in real life, you know? Meet up in real life. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I know one quick tidbit, off topic, but apparently now law enforcement and government or whatever has now recognized that if you say in Minecraft or anything when it comes to funny threat jokes, you can still get in trouble and arrested for it.
Yeah, they have to take that seriously now.
So no, I actually commented on this. That is partially a misunderstanding. This is not legal advice, chat. However, this is everything I've seen, like, collected into a single piece of information. So the thing is, telling somebody that you were going to kill them has actually never been illegal. And this is something people don't really understand. In order for something to be a threat, which is what that is, for it to be a legally actionable threat, I guess would be a better way to say it, there has to be intent and ability behind it. And this is something people always skip over, is the intent and the ability. So now that you have said it, if they report you and the police decide to investigate, in order to actually be charged, they have to see that you actually intend to do it and that you actually have the capability to do it. So the reason this almost never gets prosecuted is if I tell a random person on the internet I'm going to kill them, I don't have their address. That alone means I don't have the capability to do it. Like that by itself, if I don't know their name or where they live, I've immediately been excluded from capability to do it. What they're talking about the actual case where it got decided that in Minecraft counted was somebody saying this to a politician. And for those of you who don't know, threats are treated completely differently when said to a politician.
The big bot.
Because it is considered, like just blanket, that everyone knows where a politician lives, what their name is, what their schedule is. So by default, any threat to a politician can be considered actionable. No matter what you say, no matter how small it is, because all of their information is of public record.
I see.
They are counted completely different as a regular person.
Interesting. Anyway, that's a cool little sign.
Yeah, we're not saying you should say it.
Yeah, don't
I'm saying
say
this
it.
is not legal advice. However, when I saw that tweet, that is one of the things that I think they kind of left out. People are not actually getting swept up and arrested for saying, I'm going to beat you in Minecraft. They're getting swept up and arrested for saying that to their local politician. First off, it was this guy's local politician.
Was
like,
it
he lived in
really?
the same city as her.
Oh my gosh.
And he said it with his public Facebook profile to her public Facebook profile. So this is not like they're just roping up people on Twitter who say in Minecraft and arresting them. This is literally somebody who made an act. According to the investigation, he actually was working his way towards assassinating this lady.
Yeah, that's
So this
dumb.
was a guy that made an actionable threat towards a sitting politician. It's a completely different situation. It has nothing to do with saying in Minecraft.
Oh,
I see.
my goodness.
He just happened to use that wording when he said it on Facebook.
Chat, don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, I wouldn't say it regardless. Here's what you could say. I will PvP you in Minecraft. I don't know.
I mean, a
That
lot of
sounds
people
better.
have gotten to that. They'll say, like, I'll sunset you in Minecraft.
Ugh.
Like, most people don't say kill anymore, because the entire point of saying in Minecraft was to try and avoid, like, bots that were smacking people down.
And now the bots are getting used to it.
Yeah. So you can't just say, I'm gonna kill you anyways. The bot would pick that up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always something silly, though. I'll drop an anvil on you in Minecraft.
Well, that doesn't kill you, unless you're low health, but, you know.
Depends on the height of the anvil.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah. I have one little thing we could do as a closing bit.
Yeah.
Chat. Will it work? There we go. Alinity decided to do adult streams. I have zoomed in on this page because I don't know if YouTube will like it or not. But Alinity, if you guys don't know, is the Can We Copy Strike PewDiePie girl. I believe she has got quite a reputation. If I remember correctly, one of her stream clips, one of her dogs came up behind her and climbed on her, and everybody memed that.
It mounted her.
Yeah.
She
The reason
abused-
people like memed it is because apparently like dogs really should not be doing that to their owners unless
No.
their owners have at some point been submissive to them.
pretty much
White woman moment.
Yeah.
reminds me of that Rusty Cage song. That's really good.
White girls fuck dogs.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to close with that? We can close with that. Here, I'll pull that up. I will pull that up.
Sure, why
Just-
not?
Just for you, chat. No, but like, so this woman is the one. I think I also remember her saying something along the lines of, "Yeah, I came over here from," because I believe she was an immigrant to Canada, and she basically said, "Yeah, I came over here on a green card with a boyfriend and then dumped him."
Yeah, she basically admitted to marriage fraud publicly. But like they
So-
don't care.
Yeah, it's just like,
Jeez.
like out of all of the people to have to be on my bingo card, this is definitely the weirdest. Because like, and here's an issue I have with Twitch. I think Twitch is full of a lot of adult creators that will eventually make this content. Like Alinity doing this is not surprising to me because she's already done this. She's already done suggestive stuff. There are a lot of adult creators on Twitch that do this suggestive stuff. It's kind of gross, kind of disgusting. And I'll be honest, I don't know what Twitch is going to do about it because it feels like it's a disgusting pipeline for people to get into. into, and I don't have an issue with people getting into that content, but it feels really sus when there is children involved, because Twitch is for 13 plus.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just kind of gross, you know?
Yeah.
Well, here's the uncomfortable conversation a lot of people don't want to know. The only people that follow, like, the e-thoughts that only ever show, like, cleavage and stuff are children. Because a regular adult is just gonna go watch porn. I'm sorry, it's like a kid thing to be, like, obsessed with cleavage and boobs, like, in the most minimalistic way possible. Anyone who's already an adult is just gonna go watch porn. And some of these creators have accidentally admitted it. Like, I think one of the girls had mentioned that she gave a bunch of money back because one of her followers turned out to be like a 12-year-old, and he stole his mom's credit card and sent her like $2,000.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, something crazy like that. And they've mentioned, like, this is actually a regular thing that happens for these creators. These are kids stealing their parents' money to give to these creators. These are not like adults watching them, and they know it, they just don't care because they make bank.
No, it's kind of gross. Well, more than just kind of, it is gross. I do feel like that there is a disgusting pipeline of Twitch to these other websites that these creators know about, and they don't care because it makes them money. And Twitch isn't gonna do anything about it because it makes them money until it stops. But it's gross.
Mm-hmm.
The LuminoCove OnlyFans gonna be popping.
I have no intent.
I think it's funny that you guys say that because I'm the only person here with an OnlyFans.
I'm sorry, but I don't hate myself that much. I hate myself, but not that much.
I have no intentions, chat. Listen, if you want to see my art, you can ask me. I don't share not safe for work art of myself because I'm not that kind of person. But like, if you want to ask me like to see pictures of my model or just of me, you don't have to pay for it. Like, you know, I have subscriptions on YouTube.
For mine either. They're free.
Yeah, I have subscriptions on. You can like become a member on my YouTube channel, but not for that. Not for that.
I don't do this to make money or because I hate myself. I do it because I'm an exhibitionist.
You're different.
I will share not safe for work Lumi art. I love not safe for work Lumi art. I only got one so far, but I want to change that sometime.
I got not safe for work art with me and Oka, and people loved it.
One day I will get not safe for work Lumi art that's not gore.
And I volunteer as tribute.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Hey, a 7'2" mermaid woman and a short king.
How tall are you?
Exactly.
How tall is the model?
No, I've talked about this. I'm like 5'2".
Okay, so 5'2" and 7. That's like a 2-foot difference. Perfect for the cleavage.
And Yumi's like 4'6".
Beautiful.
All right.
I believe that's everything. Chat. I don't think there's anything else.
Did my Opie not turn on?
I don't think so.
I forgot to start Mix It Up tonight.
Hi. I did start Mix It Up.
Although mine wouldn't have worked because I'm not on Twitch.
Well, they're not working at all.
Chat really quickly. Before we end off, is there anything else you want us to talk about? This is your time, chat. If you want to ask us or to talk about anything brief that we could talk about, now is the time. We'll give you like a minute to mention something. And if we see something interesting, we'll talk about it.
Oh, that's interesting. I found my problem.
What?
Yeah.
I cannot understand height and feet. Oh, you got to get on the Imperial system, bro.
Can't really tell me though as every dimension is increased.
Apparently, if you still have that window open on VTube Studio where it shows like all the people in the party with you or whatever, it prevents you from adding or taking away new assets.
Interesting.
We did talk about Rero. We talked about Rero at the top of the stream.
Beginning of here, I'll post another link of it, but it is the first bit of the podcast. If you want to watch it, the replay of the stream will be up basically right after the stream is over.
Yep. I know a quick bit.
Twitch too.
I know a quick bit that we can talk about. The fucking The one new dude in Hollow Star is saying that he thinks that you need consent from a fictional character to loot them.
Oh, I
Like,
remember
what the
that.
fuck is that? Yeah, dude. Rev covered it. But yeah, the Crimson Ruse dude, or whatever the fuck his name is, said, oh yeah, I'm fine with sexualizing characters if it empowers them or they consent to it. But if they can't consent to it, then, you know, that's weird. Or whatever. And I'm like, boy.
I was talking to you guys about it. Didn't you say that he was, what was it called, a Nepo hire?
He's a Nepo baby, too.
Okay, so you guys had to explain this to me because I had no idea what that meant. Basically, chat, this guy was hired because, like, he knew somebody in the and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being hired because you know somebody in the company. But he acts like it. He acts like it.
I will send you Rev's video covering it because I don't know if the clips of it have gotten taken down since then.
If HoloLive is smart,
it was a clip, yeah.
If HoloLive is smart, they would not let that man speak like that ever again. And they are somewhat smart, so I think that they're gonna rein him in.
Oh, 1000%.
It's like, especially with, like, you know, most of the content that. Oh yeah, he's also against lollies apparently as well.
That's right. I remember him saying that. He's killing his support. He's killing his support before he even has a chance to build it, which is honestly really sad because I think that there is a spaces for male VTubers, but like this man is killing his shot and making a lot of other male VTubers not look good.
I believe so, Murray, but also, don't forget, I also didn't know what Oshi fucking meant, and then when I found out what Oshi meant, then I said, it's a Gundam's my Oshi, because he's been a VTuber since VTubers became popular over in the fucking West, so.
I would consider anybody has been a VTuber if they've ever used a PNG in order to animate themselves, as opposed to their actual face. So he would count as one.
Yeah, so, like, chat mentions it. I don't understand why this is such a problem. I don't know why male corpo VTubers are always just shit people.
Oh, Gerard is the Nepo?
Like,
I don't know who the fuck Gerard is, but apparently he's also a new Hollow Stars dude who's the Nepo baby.
It confuses me. It's always, like, the male VTubers they hire, and I don't understand it. Because what they're trying to do with the male VTubers is they're trying to, like, hire these, like, degenerates that are on board with, like, being the female sex symbol or whatever. And then every single one of them gets, like, really holier than thou about everything. Whereas on the opposite, I think the problem is they're trying to hire people that they think are degenerates. Because with HoloLive, they tried to hire people that they thought would make were good idols, and every single girl turned out to be a massive fucking degenerate. And now that they're trying to hire a bunch of massively degenerate guys, all they keep finding are just guys that are morality police.
I don't know why.
It's not working.
Maybe they want to be morality police to corral a girl, but it doesn't work like that.
And it's like, okay, I was listening to Dude's clip in Rev's video, and he sounds like the generic surfer dudes in like a 90s fucking sitcom show. He's very annoying to listen to, like, god damn.
I've never liked any of the male VTubers they've put out. And I feel bad because I need to support my people because we don't get enough representation.
It's
my
like,
people
I'm
need
sorry,
representation.
It's like, I'm sorry, but I would rather hear a 2-hour false video than listen to 10 minutes of that, man.
Oh god, they're awful.
They are.
Damn. Damn. No, but like, if I could offer that man any advice, I'd just say shut up. Otherwise, you're gonna be staring down the barrel of you've been let go.
Yeah.
They say most male VTubers look like e-boys. I think the problem is most men that want to be VTubers aren't the same people that are watching VTubers.
Very true.
Yeah. And also when it comes to like the designs of the VTuber models themselves, I think they're taking way too much inspiration from
JoJo.
JoJo or Genshin Impact. It's either one extreme or the other. And
You're
also
either,
the
like,
models are like
swing.
very. The models are extremely stiff too. Like I get women have more to work with, but like you can make men move. You just
And-
gotta actually try.
And Chad, I just want to point out, this isn't every male VTuber, but it seems like all of the corporate ones, all of the big ones tend to act like this. I don't know.
As a resident male, I'm allowed to say it's all male VTubers. Fuck all of you people. You make me look bad.
Damn. Just pretend to be a female. You kind of already, you've got the balloons to do it.
I mean,
If
people
anything,
already
I'm
think
just
that
one
Mizu's
younger.
a girl.
God, it kills me inside. I literally put the male symbol in my name, and people were like, "Oh, woman."
Oh,
Let's see.
forgive
Is
us,
it this
Mizu.
dude?
I don't know. I'm fine playing into the people thinking I'm a girl thing. It really doesn't bother me all that much.
It's just funny.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is when I get art and somebody like sends me art and I've got like massive bazongas. And it's like, first off, like you can't even use the excuse that like my character wears a jacket, so you assumed because I'm a girl I would have tits. I'm wearing like this really like thin flowy outfit that's completely flat on my chest. You have no excuse to think I have titties. None at all.
People might think Rev. Okay, I actually made this mistake. I was like, isn't Rev. Like, I know Rev is a dude. He even says, I'm a dude. But I was like, isn't your model a female? And everybody's like, no, no, no. And I was like, well, how are you supposed to tell? And they're like, oh, people literally were making dick jokes. And I was like, okay, I get it. That's
His
not what I
model's
was
a female.
asking. But like,
I'm gonna maintain that. His model's a female. It was designed 100% to look like a woman.
yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I thought he did that because he liked it, how it looked. And it's just like, that's fine. Males are allowed to do female models because they want to look at that. That's totally fine. But like, everyone was like, no, 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 he's just a femboy. And I'm just like, are you sure about that?
It's not a guy in a female body. There's a name for it, guys that stream with female models.
Enough research.
There's like a culture around it. But like, no, it's definitely a guy. It's definitely a girl model. Like, I don't know who thinks it's a guy or it was intended to be a guy. It was designed as a girl. Get over it.
No.
You can be a guy and stream with a female model. There's a word for it. I can't remember it off the top of my head right now because
Yeah.
I don't use it very often.
It's not autogenophilia. No, that's another
No, it's
thing.
like a cultural word. It's
Oh,
not like a
okay.
fetish thing.
Cock the cock.
Okay, it
It's
wasn't
cultural in
rubbed
the
that
same way like
about it.
Yaru is cultural.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Like it's just a word that like means a subculture of people.
It's like
It doesn't-
femboy?
It's not like a literal scientific word.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's for whatever reason I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Hmm.
All right, I don't think I have anything else to
Babaniku.
talk about.
Me neither. I think we've hit
It's
everything.
Babaniku.
What is it called?
Babaniku, a Japanese term for an online avatar depicting an anime-style female character used by content creators who are often male.
Interesting.
I see.
I mean, you know what's funny is there's a lot of Japanese men that can pull it off and actually sound like females. They do it pretty well. It's kind of surprising.
Fall Guys
No,
is
it's not
literally their
metrosexual.
cat girl, and it's great. Oh, I know who you're
Metrosexual
talking
is a
about.
guy
yeah.
who dresses well.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
metrosexual is basically just a guy who dresses in a very like modern and attractive way.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I used to be called metrosexual,
I see.
All of you
and then I just started
MMOR,
dressing like a woman. So
all of you male MMORPG players play female characters. Well, obviously, because the male likes to look at the butt.
Well, that, and also I'm sorry that the female models just look better than the male models.
Well, in 14, it depends.
see, I was always on the weird side of that, where people are like, "Why do you always use a female model when you're a male?" It's like, because the girls get all the pretty clothes.
Yeah.
With the guys, I got jeans, I got slacks, I got more jeans, I got more slacks.
Just talk to Mary. Mary's got some interesting outfits.
Yeah.
X. I like the free gifts from simps. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
A guy using
My
a pink
Sims only
Cacker
buy me
model can pull
underwear.
the Felix Argyle style card.
Mhm.
If I change to female in 14, I never stop playing dress up and get nothing done. Well, obviously that's why some people do it. They like playing dress up. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of games, female models just get more diverse armors and clothes.
They do.
Like, people complain about, like, the bikini armor shit, but at least they have the option of, like, regular armor, bikini armor. Males have the one option. You don't get anything else.
Yes, Final Fashion E14. I mean, it is endgame. Glam is endgame.
Same in Warframe.
14.
Fashion is the end game of any game. It just depends if you have, like, a name for it. Like, for Warframe, it's obviously Fashion Frame.
Mm-hmm.
I played MommaOcco, and the official term by Nexon themselves for endgame is called Fashionogi.
That's
It,
nice.
it's like glam in Final Fantasy 14 was the reason why I got into Savage rating, is because you could dye the outfit.
That is a good reason to get into it. It encourages you to actually work hard.
Yep.
Did have a good podcast tonight, chat.
We
Thank you for
did.
asking.
We did. Chat,
Or saying.
I do apologize. Like, if some people feel hurt by what I said earlier, I genuinely wish well for all people. And the person I talked about tonight, again, I hope they're doing well. I don't like them anymore, but I hope they do well, and I hope they conquer. Just stop making excuses, and I'll
Slay and
praise
conquer,
it.
sis.
Exactly, slay and conquer.
Slay and conquer, maybe get a part-time job.
That too, get a part-time job, because just coasting off of your parents ain't gonna happen forever.
Mm.
Anyway, did you want? I can play the Rusty Cage song now as we end out this podcast.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty, chat, and it's only gonna be on my side. Chat, we are gonna see you next week. I think. What are we gonna do tomorrow? We're gonna play some tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
Oh, we could play Final Fantasy 14, get Mizu through the story some more.
We could.
Whatever y'all are up to, I'm down for it.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, this is where we're gonna end it off now. I have been Mom.
Purchase. Armor vendor.
Have you been Lumi and Mizu?
Here, chat, as well as you two, I'll ask you, do I raid somebody that I know that I think deserves, like, more attention? Or do I, like, semi-spite raid somebody who cut me off forever ago and see if they, like, even address me?
Oof.
Hold on, who?
Oof.
I want to be in that chat when it happens.
I don't want to say it public. That's the only reason I might not do it, because I don't want to say it publicly.
See, you have,
Okay, you can tell me in the in.
I'll send
the
you their
fucking...
Twitch in the chat.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna send y'all to Burb, because Burb is nice. Burb is always friendly to me.
I am going to send my
I
viewers
might even
over
know who I'm talking
to.
about if they've been here long enough.
I'm
And if
gonna
you're-
send my viewers to Dad Tuber. He is literally a dad VTuber. He looks like a dad. He looks like a father.
chat, if you're on YouTube, I can't send you to anybody because YouTube doesn't have proper rating yet. But I will send you off with this amazing song. So if you're on YouTube, this is where we're going to end it off. But we have a fantastic ending off song for you. Hopefully there's no ad here. Hold on a moment. Hold on.
All
All
right.
right.
Have a good night, chat, and don't
Good night,
forget to
everybody.
give them blankies when we get over there.
All right, chat. You guys have a fantastic night. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
There it goes. It's in.
When they come home from the bar and they're all alone, white girls fuck dogs and their big red bone. They don't do it 'cause it's good for their health. It's just the way white girls express themselves, yeah. White girls fuck dogs. They fuck up. White girls fuck dogs. They really fuck up. White girls. that white culture doesn't exist, but when a dog is humping them, they can't resist.